Anastasia learned protective barrier collapsed while dragons advanced, forcing urgent preparations across her kingdom's defenses. Facing advisors, Anastasia calmly acknowledged enemies breached Infinity Prism, confirming expectations. Anastasia unleashed devastating meteor storm, summoning blazing projectiles that crashed toward approaching dragon forces across skies. Dragons roared desperately as countless meteors struck formations, overwhelming aerial ranks and defenses throughout the battlefield. Reports confirmed 80% losses, while observers praised Anastasia's power against entire armies, securing remarkable dominance. Anastasia confronted Dragon King Naga directly, sensing intentions behind his appearance while maintaining composure. Elven observers detected overwhelming magical energy, realizing Naga had activated the Dragon King's secret technique. Naga launched Heavenly Dragon King Cannon, threatening Eternal Heart while attendants urged Anastasia's retreat. Refusing withdrawal, Anastasia invoked Ultimate Magic, combining ancient knowledge and immense power against danger. Anastasia released Violet Nova decisively, unleashing catastrophic energy toward Naga's attack. Anastasia's Violet Nova collided with Naga's attack, creating a blinding explosion that consumed everything. Anastasia lost consciousness during the clash, her exhausted body falling through unknown space. Awakening beside crashing waves, Anastasia found herself stranded before a vast unfamiliar shoreline. She searched desperately for companions, calling trusted subordinates, while finding only silence across island. Considering possibilities, Anastasia planned returning home, until a terrifying roar suddenly echoed nearby. Anastasia spotted a strange man approaching aggressively through vegetation, immediately treating him as dangerous. Attempting wind magic defensively, she discovered her spell failed completely, causing immediate concern. Panicking, she tried casting again while retreating quickly, but nothing responded to commands. The frightened pair sprinted across shoreline together, each misunderstanding the other's intentions entirely. Reaching rocky ground, Anastasia gained distance while the confused man continued following behind. Anastasia attempted escaping across cliffs, then realized flight magic vanished, leaving her completely vulnerable. She slipped suddenly, but the pursuing man caught her before crashing onto rocks below. Hearing understandable words, Anastasia paused as the man desperately explained his stranded situation. Learning they occupied a deserted island, Anastasia finally understood her surroundings were entirely unfamiliar. Anastasia introduced herself proudly, then demanded location details while temporarily tolerating the human's presence. The man questioned Anastasia's identity, while he dismissed her claims as unbelievable fantasy entirely. Seeking answers, Anastasia asked about transportation, while misunderstanding circumstances surrounding his arrival there. Both interpreted events differently, each constructing explanations matching personal assumptions about reality instead. The man urged acceptance of facts, insisting survival required abandoning impossible beliefs immediately. Remembering failed spells and flight, Anastasia angrily rejected his conclusion despite mounting evidence. Determined proving herself, Anastasia attempted teleportation magic before discovering another complete failure unexpectedly there. She repeatedly cast powerful spells, yet every technique vanished without producing any effects. Even Violet Nova failed completely, leaving Anastasia shocked as reality contradicted everything understood. While questioning her powerless state, Anastasia heard warnings and turned toward danger immediately. Anastasia identified a harmless slime dramatically, mistaking the creature for a dangerous demon. Dismissing the slime harmlessly, Anastasia relaxed briefly before the creature suddenly attacked and restrained. Trapped completely, she struggled desperately as slime entered her mouth, preventing breathing and movement. Realizing magic remained unusable, Anastasia feared defeat against a creature normally considered insignificant. Seeing her danger, the stranded man rushed forward immediately, abandoning caution to rescue Anastasia. Remembering Anastasia's extraordinary talent, distant observers sensed dormant power awakening during desperate circumstances. As consciousness faded, Anastasia recalled lifelong praise, questioning her worth without extraordinary magical abilities. Doubts overwhelmed her completely, leaving her vulnerable while memories challenged everything defining her. The stranded man noticed something changing suddenly, and rushed toward Anastasia without hesitation. Ignoring danger, he struck the attacking slime forcefully, creating an opening for rescue. Multiple slimes counterattacked relentlessly, surrounding the man while he continued fighting, despite risks. Slimes tightened their grip around Anastasia, dragging her helplessly while she struggled desperately against. The stranded man returned immediately, carrying Anastasia away from danger, despite surrounding monsters attacking. Reaching safety, he explained the creature's behavior and revealed knowledge gained through experience alone. Anastasia recognized the monster as ordinary slime, while learning fire exposed its weakness quickly. Admitting her powerless condition, she questioned why the man risked returning to save. Anastasia questioned her value, but the man insisted helping others remained an adult's responsibility. Despite doubting her claims, he promised support regardless of circumstances, offering genuine assistance. His unexpected kindness stunned Anastasia, leaving her speechless as unfamiliar feelings surfaced quietly. As daylight faded, the man prepared camp while Anastasia observed his practical actions. He explained fire's importance for survival, using remaining embers carefully to sustain safety. Anastasia watched curiously as the man struggled creating fire through exhausting manual effort alone. Comparing races silently, she considered humans magically inferior while observing his persistent determination. Strange feelings disturbed Anastasia unexpectedly, causing discomfort she struggled to understand or explain. Wondering about her condition, Anastasia examined possibilities while questioning the man's unusual endurance, concentrating intensely. Anastasia searched her body carefully, hoping to discover magic's disappearance cause. Anastasia theorized missing atmospheric mana prevented spellcasting, inspiring renewed confidence in her abilities. Concentrating carefully, she sensed faint mana and celebrated, believing magical power remained accessible. She proudly cast Meteor Storm, expecting devastating destruction while demonstrating recovered magical capability confidently. Only a tiny burning fragment appeared, exposing her spell's dramatically weakened condition instead. Recognizing its usefulness, the man immediately rushed forward and grabbed the burning fragment. The man carefully protected Anastasia's ember, using breath and tinder to preserve ignition successfully. Maintaining steady effort, he nurtured the tiny flame patiently until it strengthened considerably. Placing fuel beneath it, the man transformed Anastasia's ember into a reliable campfire. Grateful for assistance, he credited Anastasia's contribution, surprising her with sincere appreciation completely. Hearing praise from him, Anastasia realized her weakened magic still possessed meaningful value. Anastasia proved her magic existed, while the man apologized for doubting her extraordinary abilities. Encouraged by praise, Anastasia accepted recognition proudly, though she concealed satisfaction behind composure. The man explained her assistance simplified survival, promising reliance on her regularly during future campfire tasks. Excessive magical strain exhausted Anastasia quickly, causing collapse despite her cheerful expression beside the campfire unexpectedly. Anastasia rushed across the ship as reports warned dragons shattered barriers and rapidly approached them. She questioned enemy distance, panicked when soldiers revealed dragons already infiltrated the vessel. Teeny dragons suddenly appeared before her, striking her while she struggled understanding. Overwhelmed by miniature dragons, Anastasia desperately requested reinforcements, treating their attack as severe emergency. Exhausted from chaos, she collapsed curled upon the ground, still mumbling requests for reinforcements. Anastasia awakened suddenly, realizing island hardships were real memories rather than dreams from exhaustion. She reflected on failed escape attempts, accepting limited magic forced continued survival there alone. Anastasia searched for the man, complaining about insect bites before finding him resting nearby. Her heart reacted unexpectedly toward the man, yet Anastasia suppressed feelings and changed subjects. The man explained creating large signs from driftwood, hoping rescuers would eventually notice. Anastasia assured the man rescue should arrive, since magical tracking constantly monitored her location. Confused by her claims, the man questioned battlefields, prompting Anastasia to explain urgently. Anastasia reluctantly simplified matters, criticizing humanity while preparing to describe her world's conflict. She introduced three ruling powers: elves, dragons, and demons, locked within fierce rivalry. Anastasia revealed nations fought endlessly over the Eternal Heart, a crystal containing limitless mana. Anastasia warned obtaining the Eternal Heart would grant dominance, expecting rescue forces searching soon. Remembering her condition, Anastasia admitted severe thirst and politely asked the man for water. The man apologized, explaining available coconuts were gone, despite abundant fruit during arrival. Shocked, Anastasia learned no water remained, while the man described exhausting previous supplies. Anastasia accepted waiting for rescuers, believing assistance approached, despite magic remaining nearly unusable. Anastasia realized weak mana prevented tracking magic, meaning rescuers could no longer locate her. The man suggested searching physically, while Anastasia worried rescue efforts would require considerable time. Growing dehydrated and dizzy, Anastasia suddenly remembered a possible source of water nearby. The man recalled discovering a water pool earlier, convincing Anastasia survival required immediate action. Determined to endure independently, Anastasia followed the man through dense wilderness, seeking water. Walking through wilderness, the man noticed Anastasia stepped painfully on debris, prompting him to inspect injuries. Anastasia examined his foot, confirming a minor scratch while becoming visibly embarrassed. Questioned about footwear, Anastasia explained levitation. Magic usually replaced walking, making shoes unnecessary. She suddenly collapsed forward from exhaustion, causing the man immediate concern for her. The man warned dehydration and heavy clothing worsened her condition, yet Anastasia stubbornly refused. Anastasia explained her treasured cloak symbolized command authority, refusing removal despite worsening condition. Ignoring warnings, she insisted continuing forward, determined to present the Eternal Heart someday. Reaching the destination, both discovered the water source missing, destroying their immediate hopes. Anastasia wondered whether recent changes dried the pool, while the man grew alarmed. Overcome by thirst and exhaustion, she collapsed helplessly as the man rushed toward her, barely conscious. Anastasia felt cold, liquid touch her lips, slowly easing overwhelming thirst. The man carefully fed collected water, allowing Anastasia to recover strength and awareness. Supporting her closely, the man continued helping until Anastasia regained enough energy to respond. Recovering suddenly, Anastasia demanded answers, shocked by the unusual method used for hydration. The man explained extracting moisture from damp soil, creating drinkable water despite vanished surface supplies. The man demonstrated filtering moisture through cloth, producing drinkable water from damp soil successfully. Impressed by his ingenuity, Anastasia praised the man and learned deeper digging helped. The man explained urgency forced improvised methods, prioritizing hydration before searching alternatives elsewhere. He shared remaining water fairly, assuring Anastasia safety while encouraging her continued recovery. Noticing the man's bare feet, Anastasia suddenly realized he endured hardships without complaint. Anastasia rejected drinking filtered sock water, proudly declaring her status as Elven princess royalty. The man challenged her pride, arguing responsibility meant little without surviving current circumstances. He insisted fulfilling duties required preserving oneself, urging Anastasia to prioritize survival. Reflecting deeply, Anastasia realized risking her life for pride betrayed responsibilities entrusted to her. Embarrassed by his reasoning, Anastasia stood silently while the man clarified his intentions gently. Determined to change, Anastasia grabbed the sock water despite disgust, forcing herself toward survival. Seeing the man's battered feet, Anastasia realized he endured hardship without complaint repeatedly. Abandoning hesitation completely, Anastasia eagerly requested more water, astonishing the man immediately with her sudden determination. Ignoring the smell, Anastasia drank everything and vowed to survive regardless of humiliation or hardship from then. The man revealed collected water supplies, estimating 6 liters available for their immediate survival. He explained harsh conditions required significant consumption, meaning reserves would disappear within days. Anastasia noticed numerous containers and questioned their source, concerned about their unusual abundance. The man explained ocean currents carried discarded containers ashore, unsettling Anastasia despite practical benefits. Accepting reality reluctantly, she agreed necessity outweighed cleanliness concerns, while preserving precious water supplies. The man admitted severe hunger, surprising Anastasia while revealing neither had eaten anything. They headed searching for food before darkness arrived. Understanding water collection consumed valuable time. While walking together, Anastasia realized she still knew nothing about the man's identity. The man introduced himself as Shuden Daikiku, a teacher from Tokyo, pleasing Anastasia greatly. Anastasia misunderstood his profession as magical expertise, while Shuden clarified teaching language instead there. Anastasia praised Shuden's abilities, though he denied expertise and described himself modestly instead. Shuden explained survival hobbies taught useful knowledge, though experience remained limited and theoretical. Despite denying expertise, he promised protecting Anastasia and escaping together from danger safely. His words stirred Anastasia emotionally, leaving her flustered while blaming an imaginary condition. Continuing their search, Shuden inspected coastal rocks carefully, while Anastasia followed behind. Searching shoreline rocks, Shuden discovered something edible and called Anastasia over immediately there. He proudly revealed gathered shellfish, declaring the small sea creatures their meal for survival. Anastasia questioned choosing shellfish, despite abundant fish, doubting such unusual seafood completely instead. Shuden explained fishing required equipment, while shellfish offered easier nourishment and energy, refusing limitations. Anastasia rushed forward confidently, declaring her magic could catch fish effortlessly. Anastasia spotted fish beneath shallow waters, immediately preparing magic proudly to prove herself. Chanting confidently, Anastasia summoned powerful currents, creating a swirling prison around unsuspecting fish. Her spell trapped the fish successfully, leaving Anastasia delighted with her magical achievement. Anastasia ordered Shuden quickly collect the catch. While he celebrated her successful demonstration, Shuden rushed toward the spinning water prison, eagerly attempting securing their hard-earned meal. Shuden reached toward the trapped fish, but Anastasia's unstable spell burst apart unexpectedly. The explosion hurled Anastasia into seawater, leaving Shuden shocked while fish escaped freely. Realizing danger immediately, Shuden abandoned everything else and carried Anastasia onto shore carefully. Anastasia coughed weakly and struggled breathing, prompting Shuden to urgently check her condition. Shuden helped expel swallowed seawater, patting Anastasia's back until her breathing gradually steadied. Anastasia remained nauseous after swallowing seawater, while Shuden anxiously checked whether her condition improved. Explaining magical exhaustion and hunger, Anastasia recovered gradually until Shuden noticed something unexpected. Shuden spotted numerous shellfish covering a rock and immediately showed Anastasia the discovery with excitement. Though the fish escaped, Anastasia appreciated Shuden's effort, and they gained abundant shellfish instead for their meal. Shuden raised a shellfish piece toward Anastasia, showing confidence while offering unfamiliar food. Anastasia watched nervously as Shuden dropped small shell fragments across the prepared meal before. Shuden sampled the dish first, explaining crushed shell pieces remained edible despite their texture. Anastasia hesitated while listening carefully, uncertain whether his unusual suggestion could truly work. Shuden described the flavor calmly, comparing it to snacks, encouraging Anastasia to taste some. Anastasia cautiously sampled Shuden's meal, studying its flavor while considering his unusual cooking method. The unfamiliar taste overwhelmed her instantly, causing a dramatic reaction while Shuden watched worriedly. He learned Anastasia lacked shellfish experience, explaining her surprise, despite enjoying the flavor. Anastasia described her forest upbringing, revealing a limited diet centered on gathered natural foods. Shuden reflected on Anastasia's weakness, linking her restricted eating habits to current struggles. Shuden discovered a remaining coconut, realizing another food source might help Anastasia's nutritional condition. He offered coconut water enthusiastically, hoping its contents would provide comfort and needed nourishment. Anastasia tasted the drink carefully, then expressed delight while appreciating its refreshing natural flavor. Discussing her background, she admitted extensive magical duties, left little experience with ordinary foods. She recalled studying magic inside palace libraries, remaining isolated from broader experiences beyond walls. Shuden promised Anastasia many enjoyable experiences beyond survival, hoping to broaden her limited worldview. Anastasia hesitated, reminding Shuden about her royal duties and the ongoing war threatening nations. Despite responsibilities ahead, she quietly admitted anticipation for those future experiences with Shuden. Examining the coconut, Anastasia noted its small size offered little nourishment for recovery efforts. Shuden considered her condition seriously, searching for practical ways to increase Anastasia's food intake. Shuden mentioned tapioca unexpectedly, leaving Anastasia confused while trying to understand his strange reference. He explained a popular drink concept, describing chewy pearls and drawing inspiration for food. Shuden proposed mixing snail meat inside coconut, believing the texture would improve consumption considerably. Anastasia listened silently, struggling to follow Shuden's unusual reasoning while holding the coconut. Shuden demonstrated the idea practically, causing the snail meat to slide smoothly through liquid. Anastasia swallowed the coconut mixture cautiously, then reacted sharply as an unexpected texture surprised her. Recovering gradually, she explained coconut flavor softened the snail taste, making consumption easier overall. Encouraged by improvement, Anastasia accepted another serving while the campfire illuminated their surroundings quietly. Shuden praised her effort, relieved seeing renewed energy and confidence, returning through proper nourishment. Anastasia acknowledged Shuden's resourcefulness, realizing practical knowledge could prove valuable beyond magical expertise. Anastasia enjoyed the coconut mixture greatly, then realized Shuden never sampled his own creation before. Encouraged by her approval, Shuden accepted the coconut and decided to test it personally. The taste overwhelmed Shuden immediately, causing a disastrous reaction while Anastasia watched silently, completely stunned. Anastasia slept peacefully beside Shuden, unaware a shocking revelation would soon disturb her greatly. A familiar voice reached Anastasia, causing confusion as she suddenly recognized her mother's presence. Her mother appeared briefly, revealing the Elven Empire's collapse and delivering devastating news unexpectedly. Anastasia rejected the statement immediately, struggling desperately to accept such a catastrophic possibility. A massive dragon emerged before them, reinforcing the terrifying reality behind the Empire's downfall. Anastasia learned her disappearance weakened battlefield forces, allowing Dragon King Naga overwhelming advantages everywhere. Hearing further destruction blamed on Naga, she panicked while desperately denying her mother's claims. A violent blast ended the vision abruptly, and Anastasia awakened beside the campfire breathing. Remembering several days had passed without rescue, Anastasia worried about Shuden's unexplained absence greatly. Fearing her homeland's defeat, Anastasia considered escape possibilities and sought Shuden's guidance immediately. Anastasia followed broken branches through the forest, hoping they would lead toward Shuden's location. Hearing unfamiliar voices, she became cautious, questioning whether other people inhabited the island, hidden among foliage. She spotted Shuden and observed him carefully from a distance. Seeing unusual magic, Anastasia grew suspicious, wondering whether Shuden had concealed important truths. Disturbed by the possibility of deception, she rushed forward seeking answers about recent events. Panicking from suspicion, Anastasia fled through the forest while Shuden chased, confused by accusations. Anastasia unleashed lightning magic against Shuden, attempting capture before obtaining answers regarding everything. Shuden endured the attack calmly, revealing unexpected confidence that deepened Anastasia's growing unease. Noticing his smile, Anastasia hesitated briefly before Shuden suddenly closed the distance completely. Shuden pinned her down swiftly, preventing resistance while she struggled desperately beneath him. Shuden silenced Anastasia immediately, shielding her while a heavy presence approached their position unnoticed. A gigantic beast emerged nearby, startling Anastasia as Shuden maintained protective cover over her. Shuden explained the island contained dangerous monsters, clarifying the reason behind his urgent actions. He described the creature's territorial behavior, warning that entering its domain provoked immediate attacks. Anastasia identified the beast species, while Shuden casually revealed he had already named it. Shuden urged immediate retreat, believing the monster would ignore them once they exited territory. The beast suddenly charged regardless, forcing Shuden and Anastasia into another dangerous predicament immediately. Without hesitation, Shuden grabbed Anastasia and rolled away repeatedly, narrowly avoiding the attack. Their escape ended with a harsh fall, leaving Anastasia worried about Shuden's condition greatly. Shuden reassured Anastasia quickly, explaining he jumped from a cliff and survived with her. Anastasia confronted Shuden directly, determined to uncover secrets behind the strange magic she witnessed. Accusing him of deception, Anastasia demanded answers regarding his identity and impossible magical abilities. She described a powerful sealing spell, insisting Shuden's earlier actions matched its characteristics. Shuden revealed a smartphone, confusing Anastasia because its appearance resembled unfamiliar magical artifacts. After hearing the explanation, Anastasia realized Shuden's device was technology rather than magic itself. Shuden demonstrated smartphone recordings, helping Anastasia understand earlier mysteries without involving magic whatsoever. Despite explanations, Anastasia remained discouraged, struggling with her situation and uncertain future prospects. Reflecting deeply, she concluded she contributed little beyond awaiting rescue and completing obligations. Overwhelmed by guilt, Anastasia blamed herself for hardships, injuries, and failures occurring around her. Shuden immediately rejected her conclusion, insisting Anastasia possessed abilities nobody else could provide. Shuden explained his smartphone contained useful functions beyond communication, capturing Anastasia's full attention immediately. He revealed survival tools consumed battery power, creating a serious limitation during island life. Realizing Anastasia's lightning magic restored energy, Shuden celebrated an unexpected solution enthusiastically. Shuden showed stored survival guides, explaining the smartphone provided knowledge whenever uncertainty appeared. Understanding her unique usefulness, Anastasia accepted responsibility for charging the smartphone whenever needed. While discussing smartphone charging confidently, Shuden suddenly shielded Anastasia from a dangerous falling threat. A mysterious woman appeared unexpectedly, questioning Anastasia's lack of magical response during danger. Recognizing the newcomer instantly, Anastasia froze in shock as Dragon King Naga revealed herself. Shuden shields Anastasia while recognizing Dragon King Naga, confronting an unexpected figure. Naga appears confidently naked, towering before observers, her intimidating aura stirring confusion everywhere. Anastasia explains Naga's dragonkin heritage, describing powerful magic abilities, while Shuden listens anxiously and studies her. Further details reveal Naga rules dragonkin strength, dismissing concerns while questioning repeated disturbances from troublesome youngsters. Anastasia clarifies dragonkin customs, leaving Shuden embarrassed as Naga's unusual habits become understandable. Shuden notices Anastasia's injured neck, growing concerned while urging treatment and proper clothing for Naga. Naga confirms her identity, dismissing complaints casually, while Shuden examines Anastasia's condition. He angrily accuses Naga of endangering Anastasia. Believing her reckless strike nearly proved fatal, Naga suddenly advances toward them, prompting Xiuden to protect Anastasia, while preparing defensively against danger. Naga launches forward forcefully, startling onlookers as Xiuden reacts, immediately, expecting another violent confrontation. Naga grabs Anastasia playfully, questioning her missing magic, while Anastasia protests and struggles helplessly. Xiuden explains survival matters first, urging peace, because conflict benefits nobody stranded together here. Naga reveals decades of dueling obsession, viewing Anastasia as her sole source of enjoyment. Curious about Anastasia's weakened state, Naga proposes warming up while demanding another magical contest. Ignoring objections completely, Naga lifts Anastasia forcefully, leaving Xiuden shouting desperately for restraint. Xiuden steps forward protectively, separating Naga from Anastasia while refusing intimidation despite visible injuries. Naga questions his courage, but Xiuden firmly orders Anastasia away from impending danger. Angered by resistance, Naga abandons restraint entirely and declares Xiuden her immediate target. Naga attacks ferociously, unleashing overwhelming force while Xiuden braces himself against devastating impact. Xiuden lands a counterattack, unexpectedly, staggering Naga briefly and disrupting her relentless momentum. Anastasia watches Xiuden closely, while Naga becomes unsettled after being struck by an ordinary human. She questions Xiuden's background, unable to understand how someone challenged Naga successfully alone. Xiuden recalls working within a harsh school where violence dominated daily life and authority, responsible for discipline. He confronted dangerous students personally, relying upon strength to maintain order. Seeking guidance, Xiuden learned harsh measures remained accepted during chaotic eras, plagued by violence. Xiuden reveals his harsh background, standing firm despite injuries while recalling relentless disciplinary battles. Anastasia realizes he understands combat, though he dislikes violence and prefers preventing greater harm. Naga questions his reasoning, remaining unconvinced while Xiuden refuses backing down from confrontation. Excited by resistance, Naga announces preliminary preparations and approaches Xiuden with renewed enthusiasm. Declaring a warm-up, she charges aggressively toward Xiuden, eager to continue their escalating battle. Naga unleashes Dragon Claw Burst, creating destructive shockwaves while Xiuden narrowly avoids direct damage. Xiuden witnesses shattered terrain, struggling to comprehend the overwhelming force generated by Naga. Naga attacks relentlessly, again, prompting Xiuden to wonder whether Dragonkin possess magical abilities. She breathes flames unexpectedly, shocking Xiuden, and proving her monstrous power exceeds expectations greatly. Delighted by resistance, Naga urges continuation while Xiuden considers retreat against her terrifying strength. Xiuden analyzes Naga's movements, explaining her reckless style differs greatly from disciplined combat methods. Anastasia interprets the situation, suggesting Naga restrains herself because concern for her servant limits effort. Naga angrily rejects the claim, declaring overwhelming superiority while Xiuden remains confused. Ground tremors spread around Xiuden as Naga promises transformation, prompting him to maintain composure. Naga reveals a gigantic dragon form, leaving Xiuden stunned as the confrontation reaches a terrifying climax. Xiuden stared in shock as Dragoness King Naga appeared, declaring humans worthy sacrifices. Naga advanced confidently, promising destruction next, while Xiuden braced himself and Anastasia watched anxiously. Expecting danger, Xiuden reacted instantly, colliding against Naga's attack and stopping momentum completely through sheer force. Anastasia explained humans store mana internally, enabling transformations even across magically deprived regions and harsh conditions. Mana depletion weakened Naga severely, preventing transformation abilities, leaving her vulnerable. Naga demanded answers about her weakness, while Anastasia concluded Xiuden possessed genuine victory chances. Refusing humiliation, Naga denied human interference and lunged forward aggressively, determined to prove superiority. She unleashed a fierce strike, challenging Xiuden directly, while relying solely upon remaining strength. Xiuden barely reacted before Naga's attack closed distance rapidly, forcing immediate defensive. Their fists clashed repeatedly as Xiuden realized Naga's natural physical power remained overwhelmingly formidable. Xiuden sensed danger immediately as Naga seized an opening, forcing him into sudden vulnerability again. Naga trapped him tightly against her chest, attempting control while he searched escape routes. Exploiting momentum, she hurled Xiuden away forcefully, creating distance and disrupting his balance. Anastasia checked Xiuden quickly, relieved he avoided serious injury despite bleeding from his nose. Xiuden dismissed concerns casually, while Anastasia compared his endurance against demanding survival conditions endured. Xiuden struck himself deliberately, shocking Anastasia while Naga grinned, recognizing a significant change immediately. Activating Mad Spirit Awakening, he boosted physical abilities through pain, enduring impacts without hesitation. Naga welcomed his determination eagerly, while Shuden prepared exhausting remaining mana for battle. She attacked again, but Shuden focused briefly on her strange gesture during combat. Shuden blocked forcefully, shattering wooden debris apart as Naga pressed forward with relentless aggression. Shuden warned Naga's dragon claws remained dangerous, while Anastasia realized ordinary defenses offered little protection. Shuden noticed something approaching unexpectedly, drawing attention away from Naga's relentless offensive pressure. Naga lunged confidently, but Shuden seized the opportunity and grabbed the incoming object midair. Recognizing an elven magic knife, Shuden blocked Naga's claw before launching a counterattack swiftly. Shuden's punch connected decisively, leaving Naga stunned and speechless as momentum shifted dramatically. Seizing the opening, Shuden drove a powerful punch forward, striking Naga with overwhelming force. Naga crashed backward from impact, stunned completely, while Shuden remained ready for resistance afterward. Confirming victory, he suggested restraining unconscious Naga quickly before she regained awareness unexpectedly. Faced with Naga's condition, Shuden hesitated awkwardly, uncertain how restraint should be handled. Anastasia noticed his concern immediately, becoming irritated while interpreting his attention toward Naga. Shuden returned Anastasia's knife respectfully, recognizing its value after relying upon improvised weapons repeatedly. Anastasia questioned his assumptions calmly, explaining her silence never reflected anger toward anyone. Holding the knife carefully, she revealed emotional reasons behind keeping the treasured weapon close. Shuden listened seriously, while Anastasia described survival, responsibility, and maintaining strength through meaningful possessions. Anastasia revealed her mother's talisman served as protection and final resort during wartime hardships. Anastasia entrusted her mother's talisman knife to Shuden, believing it would improve their survival. Shuden questioned accepting such value, yet Anastasia answered confidently and placed faith within him. Anastasia explained the knife could secure their future, expressing unwavering trust in Shuden. Shuden promised cooperation and escape, accepting responsibility while reassuring Anastasia with determination completely. Naga suddenly awakened, admitting Shuden's punch remained memorable, while interrupting their heartfelt exchange. Naga admitted defeat gracefully, praised Shuden's strength, then surprised everyone by approaching him with confidence. Suddenly after waking, smiling directly at Shuden, Naga boldly requested bearing his child, leaving Anastasia shocked and speechless by the proposal. Anastasia froze in disbelief, her eyes widened dramatically after hearing Naga's unexpected declaration toward Shuden. Naga proudly explained Dragonkin traditions, while Anastasia reacted loudly as Shuden endured awkward confusion. Claiming defeat proved Shuden's strength, Naga justified selecting him according to Dragonkin customs and traditions. Anastasia rejected Naga's reasoning, yet Naga enthusiastically demanded Shuden accept her prestigious proposal. Shuden listed survival hardships, arguing childbirth and parenting remained unrealistic under their circumstances. Naga misunderstood Shuden's concerns completely, demanding obedience while declaring her intentions were unquestionably serious. Ignoring hesitation, she pinned Shuden confidently, while Anastasia watched nervously and struggled processing events. She suddenly stopped herself, admitting exhaustion weakened her determination and reconsidering immediate pursuit entirely. Choosing practicality instead, Naga announced plans for food, leaving Anastasia puzzled by changes. Before departing, she heard Shuden speak, causing her attention to shift toward him immediately. Shuden invited Naga to cooperate, proposing mutual support while Anastasia quietly observed their interaction. He explained their survival chances improved together, noting an unusual connection existed between them. Naga proudly refused companionship, insisting her status required independence, before abruptly leaving their presence. Anastasia recalled Naga's earlier strength, realizing her current condition differed greatly from expectations. Considering future dangers carefully, Anastasia wondered whether magic and mana could somehow be restored. Anastasia approached while Shuden suggested returning campward first, prioritizing treatment for their injuries. Shuden cleaned Anastasia's wound using filtered water, explaining infection risks where medical help remained unavailable. Anastasia listened attentively, then accepted the boiled water, appreciating Shuden's careful survival knowledge and judgment. She confidently claimed healing magic handled wounds easily, revealing limited understanding of ordinary medical practices yet. Shuden treated her neck carefully, causing slight discomfort while Anastasia endured patiently. Shuden applied disinfectant carefully, startling Anastasia as intense stinging spread across her treated wound. While explaining disinfectant benefits, Shuden revealed Naga's severed claw, surprising Anastasia greatly during treatment. Interested immediately, he borrowed the claw, believing its strength could become a useful tool. Anastasia explained Naga's weakened blessings, noting mana depletion reduced protective magic and physical enhancement. Discussing elven traits, Anastasia described innate blessings, granting protection, strength, and various magical abilities. Anastasia demonstrated mana effects using her hair, showing older strands remained stronger than newer growth. Shiuden realized Naga likely arrived later, explaining why mana depletion had affected her differently. Inspired suddenly, Shiuden rushed indoors, leaving Anastasia confused while pursuing an unexpected idea. Combining Naga's claw with Anastasia's durable hair, Shiuden proposed crafting effective fishing equipment together. Anastasia stood speechless as Shiuden eagerly advanced his plan using unusual materials, without hesitation. Shiuden tested newly crafted fishing gear, while Anastasia watched quietly, reflecting upon recent events carefully. Anastasia questioned his interest in Naga, suspecting he intended building friendship, despite tensions. Shiuden mentioned their unusual connection, prompting Anastasia to explain long-standing rivalry between clans historically. Anastasia recalled countless duels where she and Naga fought fiercely, yet neither secured victory. Understanding gradually formed. Shiuden realized Naga's obsession stemmed from finding an equal opponent finally. Asked unexpectedly about age, Anastasia revealed her years, then scolded Shiuden for asking rudely. She explained her influence over wartime affairs, while Shiuden reconsidered assumptions about elven lifespans. Despite responsibilities in history, she admitted spending time with Naga remained completely unthinkable. While fishing, Shiuden reflected carefully, questioning whether Anastasia's extraordinary claims might actually prove true. Accepting circumstances temporarily, Shiuden recalled a familiar tale and chose cooperation over continued doubt. Shiuden shared a story explaining enemies survived together by cooperating against dangers threatening everyone equally. Anastasia listened quietly as he suggested postponing conflicts until everyone escaped the island safely. Shiuden emphasized teamwork's benefits, believing combined strengths would greatly improve their chances of survival. Testing his handmade equipment, Shiuden hooked a fish successfully, astonishing Anastasia with immediate results. Proudly displaying the catch, he proved his idea worked, leaving Anastasia genuinely impressed. Using their successful catch, Shiuden prepared fish over a fire, creating a satisfying meal together. Anastasia enjoyed the cooked fish greatly, appreciating food quality despite their difficult circumstances greatly. While gathering materials, Shiuden searched useful debris, teaching Anastasia resourcefulness through practical examples. Shiuden discovered valuable containers among wreckage, exciting Anastasia as supplies continued accumulating steadily. Reviewing progress calmly, he noted improved conditions, while Anastasia appreciated their growing stability together. While heading toward fishing grounds, Shiuden noticed something unusual ahead, interrupting their ordinary routine completely. They discovered Naga collapsed on the ground exhausted, leaving both Shiuden and Anastasia shocked. Anastasia and Shiuden discover unconscious Naga on beach, recognizing her identity. Shiuden notices bleeding wounds across Naga's body, prompting concern as Anastasia watches silently. Believing treatment necessary, Shiuden decides carrying Naga campward immediately, and Anastasia agrees readily, despite uncertainty lingering. They place Naga upon woven bedding, examining injuries carefully while preparing practical aid for recovery efforts. Observing inflammation and fever symptoms, Shiuden realizes Naga's wound remains serious, requiring urgent attention. Shiuden realizes Naga's infection could become fatal, while Anastasia worries medicine remains completely unavailable. Anastasia asks about helping Naga, and Shiuden insists they must attempt every possible measure. She questions saving Naga despite hostility, while Shiuden refuses abandoning someone facing death alone. Shiuden prepares treatment carefully, boiling water and cloths first, aiming to disinfect wounds properly. While applying disinfectant, Naga suddenly reacts violently, startling Shiuden and disrupting his medical efforts. Anastasia offers assistance willingly, while Shiuden struggles treating Naga because pain keeps provoking resistance. Shiuden instructs Anastasia carefully, assigning wound-cleaning duties while requesting she restrain Naga instead. Naga thrashes fiercely during treatment, nearly striking Shiuden as Anastasia anxiously watches unfolding chaos. Shiuden reacts quickly, seizing control before Naga's movements disrupt treatment and worsen injuries further. Pinning Naga firmly, he orders immediate action, creating an opportunity for treatment to continue. Naga breaks free, suddenly lunging away despite weakness, forcing Shiuden to pursue her immediately. Refusing escape, Shiuden intercepts Naga directly, grabbing her before infection-driven panic carries farther. Naga crashes into Shiuden, aggressively, struggling wildly, while fever clouds judgment and intensifies resistance. Anastasia urges calm, clutching supplies nervously as Shuden maintains control throughout the dangerous struggle. Exhaustion finally overcomes Naga, allowing Shuden to restrain her safely while treatment resumes. Shuden prepares disinfectant carefully, noticing Naga's resistance fading while Anastasia worries about her condition. Naga suddenly awakens and lashes out violently, startling both companions before treatment can proceed. Despite weakness, she attacks fiercely, forcing Shuden to defend himself against unpredictable movements. Anastasia rushes forward bravely, helping contain Naga, while warning Shuden about renewed danger. She restrains Naga tightly, creating a brief opening for Shuden to apply disinfectant. Shuden pours disinfectant completely onto Naga's wound, enduring screams while forcing treatment through successfully. Their exhausting effort succeeds, leaving Naga resting quietly while the cleaned wound receives protection. Anastasia notes dwindling supplies, revealing only one water bottle remains despite Naga's fever. Refusing despair, Shuden decides searching for water immediately, and Anastasia volunteers assistance without hesitation. Remembering earlier exploration, he recalls their discovered water source had already dried up. Reviewing supplies carefully, Shuden discovers collected bottles contain little water, alarming Anastasia considerably already. Recalling earlier efforts, they remember gathering fresh water during fishing preparations and filling containers. Small catches provide food, yet dwindling resources leave their overall situation increasingly difficult and uncertain. Shuden prioritizes Naga's recovery, giving precious water despite shortages while Anastasia observes. Anastasia worries Shuden neglects himself completely, fearing exhaustion might overcome him before Naga recovers. Shuden checks Naga's temperature carefully, while Anastasia misunderstands his actions and reacts with surprise. Demonstrating properly, Shuden confirms Naga's fever remains severe. Explaining his assessment method clearly, Anastasia questions his compassion, wondering why he helps Naga despite previous hostility shown. Time passes without improvement, and Naga's fever persists despite every treatment they attempted. Shuden concludes, ordinary care cannot cure Naga, explaining antibiotics remain urgently necessary. Now Shuden explains infection overwhelms Naga's body, while antibiotics normally prevent bacteria from worsening conditions. Without medicine available, Naga must rely entirely on natural recovery. Despite extremely poor odds, Anastasia suddenly remembers another possible solution, giving Shuden renewed hope for saving Naga. She explains magical protections normally resist disease, though Naga currently lacks sufficient mana. Realizing mana could restore protective magic, Shuden sees a potential path toward curing Naga. Anastasia explains humans lack magic power, while Naga requires external mana to restore protective magic and health. Shuden eagerly accepts, but Anastasia warns transferring energy converts life force and demands careful thought before proceeding. Maintaining contact for extended periods and repeated transfers becomes necessary for treatment success against the infection. Anastasia reveals collapse risk and dwindling supplies. Shuden still considers sacrifice to save Naga from death. Anastasia, Shuden, and Naga faced a critical crisis, realizing their survival chances were rapidly diminishing. Shuden assessed resources carefully, agreeing Anastasia's concern held merit since supporting everyone remained difficult. He considered magical conversion possibilities, believing physical energy could become magic, solving shortages. Anastasia addressed Shuden as he prompting reflection until a practical solution surfaced within his mind. He proposed desalination using seawater and buckets, then questioned methods for collecting steam efficiently. Shuden examined available tools carefully, then realized their gathered materials already enabled his plan. He explained seawater distillation simply, showing Anastasia how steam could become drinkable water safely. Shuden repurposed chair legs as pipes, arranging components carefully to guide steam effectively. He modified the chair and assembled everything together, completing a functional distillation apparatus successfully. Confident in his invention, he requested seawater immediately while Anastasia hurried to assist promptly. Water condensed through Shuden's apparatus successfully, filling bottles gradually while proving the design functioned. Shuden inspected collected water carefully, estimating steady production and confirming dependable results for survival. Anastasia tasted the water cautiously, while Shuden encouraged her evaluation of the experiment. Reacted with surprise, Anastasia recognizing genuine freshwater and understanding Shuden's method achieved success. She praised the invention, while Shuden explained resourceful thinking revealed hidden uses within materials. Shuden explained survival required adaptability, encouraging Anastasia to value flexibility over rigid expectations always. Anastasia questioned food supplies, While Shiuden recognized water issues ended yet nourishment remained uncertain, he proposed trapping prey for provisions, then urgently called Anastasia to discuss assistance. Shiuden revealed a plan helping Naga recover while gathering resources, requesting Anastasia's strength. Anastasia agreed reluctantly, promising cooperation and spell cancellation. Though concern lingered regarding Naga's condition, Shiuden gathered everyone mentally, announcing a strategy meeting while preparing their next survival objective. Anastasia tended Naga carefully beside camp, maintaining care while monitoring ongoing recovery efforts. Shiuden constructed traps and baskets diligently, setting equipment across wilderness areas for gathering. Returning from work, he carried collected resources, while Anastasia remained beside their campsite. Their meal succeeded wonderfully, and Anastasia enjoyed nutritious food supporting strength and recovery. Anastasia enjoyed the meal greatly, and Shiuden felt encouraged seeing her satisfied reaction afterward. Naga remained unconscious while receiving nourishment, as Shiuden and Anastasia continued supporting her recovery. Shiuden reviewed supplies carefully, confirming successful water production and measuring resources for everyone. He noted improvements remained possible, though current freshwater output already supported their needs. Shiuden explained completed traps and markers, expecting captured prey soon through preparations already made. Shiuden observed Naga's lingering fever, concluding stronger magic remained necessary despite gradual improvement signs. Anastasia prepared a healing circle around Naga. While Shiuden watched the ritual carefully, she instructed Shiuden regarding treatment procedures, explaining requirements before beginning magical restoration efforts. Anastasia revealed direct physical contact transferred magic most efficiently within their current circumstances available. Focused solely on saving Naga, Shiuden suppressing distractions, while carrying out necessary treatment. Shiuden held Naga closely, transferring energy continuously while enduring discomfort to support her recovery. Anastasia performed powerful healing magic, channeling vast energy toward Naga through an elaborate ritual. The spell continued steadily, while Anastasia concentrated deeply and maintained magical flow without interruption. She reflected uneasily, questioning unfamiliar emotions arising within her. Despite completing demanding magic, seeing Shiuden assist Naga devotedly, Anastasia became irritated and voiced dissatisfaction with his attention. Anastasia questioned Shuden's devotion, reflecting upon sacrifices he made protecting companions, despite personal risks. Remembering past kindness, she reaffirmed trust in Shiuden, recognizing his dependable character and intentions. Morning arrived as exhausted Shiuden struggled moving, feeling drained from extensive magical transfer. Naga regained consciousness unexpectedly, leaving Shiuden startled when she awakened directly beside him, confused and embarrassed. She questioned circumstances while Shiuden reacted nervously to her sudden recovery. Weakened Shiuden realized danger immediately, lacking strength to resist Naga's impulsive actions and advances. Naga ignored warnings completely, acting on confusion and lingering instincts while Shiuden remained overwhelmed. Naga remained unusually attached toward Shiuden, leaving him alarmed while recognizing his exhausted condition. Shiuden realized weakness prevented resistance, while Naga observed him curiously without understanding circumstances fully. Anastasia returned carrying seawater, finding Naga resting comfortably against Shiuden, despite confusion lingering. She questioned their strange position, while Shiuden concealed embarrassment and avoided detailed explanations. Lacking confidence, physically, Anastasia reluctantly agreed attempting assistance despite limited strength available herself. Shiuden confirmed Naga's fever nearly vanished, bringing relief while Anastasia listened with cautious optimism. Exhaustion overwhelmed him completely, and Anastasia noticed his condition worsening despite successful healing efforts. Shiuden discovered he could barely move, realizing magical transfer had drained immense strength. Summoning determination, he finally sat upright before Anastasia, though fatigue still burdened him. Overcome by hunger, Shiuden admitted miscalculation, while Anastasia offered retrieving trapped prey herself. Shiuden hesitated briefly, then accepted Anastasia's proposal, despite concerns about her safety and abilities. Anastasia took his bag confidently, departing alone toward trap locations marked across terrain. Following Shuden's markers carefully, Anastasia discovered traps positioned strategically and examined them attentively. She accidentally released trapped fish everywhere, becoming startled while struggling to gather them. Determined to continue, she searched surrounding areas carefully, hoping to recover resources successfully. Anastasia discovered trapped prey successfully, celebrating briefly before realizing the catch was unexpectedly alive. Returning campward, she hesitated nervously while Shiuden handled preparation calmly and efficiently himself. Shiuden cooked the captured prey carefully, creating a substantial meal restoring depleted energy. While eating, He observed Naga's improvement and expected complete recovery very soon afterward. Anastasia reflected thoughtfully, surprised one healing ritual achieved results beyond her initial expectations. Shiuden admitted helplessness regarding Naga's illness, while Anastasia listened quietly and reflected deeply. He thanked Anastasia sincerely, crediting her efforts for overcoming difficulties and protecting everyone. Awakened later, he realizing considerable time had passed while recovering from severe exhaustion. Naga suddenly approached Anastasia aggressively, leaving both startled while Shiuden reacted with alarm. Witnessing the confrontation escalate unexpectedly, Shiuden shouted Anastasia's name and rushed toward them. Naga unexpectedly threw a rabbit toward Anastasia, revealing additional prey existed across the island. Anastasia questioned Naga's intentions carefully, uncertain why she suddenly offered assistance without explanation. Naga explained catching 2 rabbits, deciding sharing one prevented Shiuden from remaining hungry. She challenged Anastasia indirectly, suggesting their rivalry remained unresolved despite recent cooperation efforts. Shiuden noticed blood around Naga's mouth, suspecting she had eaten prey uncooked herself. Shiuden warned against raw food consumption, while Naga explained dragons valued fresh organs above meals. Naga learned scarce mana weakened natural protections, finally understanding her lingering illness and vulnerability. Discussing injuries, she realized ordinary prey should never threaten dragons under normal circumstances. Naga described battling a quakehog alone, suffering defeat despite leaving the creature injured. Anastasia questioned Naga's actions calmly, while Shiuden discovered the hunted animal was female. Naga challenged Anastasia confidently, declaring intentions to settle their rivalry once current matters ended. Shiuden asked Naga reconsideration, hoping she would abandon unnecessary conflict and cooperate peacefully. Naga considered his proposal seriously, showing interest in joining their group for now. Shiuden suggested escaping together first, postponing disputes until everyone regained strength and freedom. Anastasia questioned Naga's weakness, leaving Shiuden embarrassed while avoiding the true explanation completely. Naga unexpectedly accepted cooperation, surprising Shiuden and Anastasia while easing tensions between former rivals. Anastasia deferred judgment to Shiuden, allowing Naga freedom regarding the proposed alliance arrangement. The trio agreed temporarily, setting aside conflicts and focusing together on escaping the island. Naga revealed personal motives openly, seeking freedom first while expressing unusual attachment toward Shiuden. Anastasia reacted with embarrassment and disbelief, while Naga continued speaking boldly without hesitation. Naga teased Anastasia boldly, while Anastasia nervously explained affection should precede any serious commitment. She proposed a ridiculous competition involving descendants, leaving Anastasia completely stunned by suggestion. Anastasia and Naga argued intensely, while Shiuden worried their growing dispute might escalate. Naga rested uneasily on woven bedding while Shiuden watched, noticing exhaustion lingering. Anastasia listened quietly as Shiuden explained spoiled shellfish caused sickness though. Recovery seemed encouraging. Hungry Naga demanded food yet denied overeating shellfish, blaming weakness and cold discomfort for her condition. Recalling familiar events, Shiuden followed Naga outside, where she proudly announced hunting abilities with great confidence. Naga paused suddenly, while Shiuden cautioned restraint concerned exertion might worsen recovery. Naga ignored Shuden's warning, lunging into seawater confidently, while demonstrating remarkable speed. Shiuden watched astonished as Naga surfaced proudly, displaying a fish caught through pure physical ability, holding another catch. Naga spotted larger prey farther away, and immediately pursued greater hunting success. She chased increasingly massive fish, excitement growing rapidly while determination overshadowed caution. Her strength suddenly failed, leaving Naga collapsed ashore while Shiuden and Anastasia rushed over concerned. Naga's reckless hunting finally overwhelmed her body, leaving her coughing violently while Shiuden supported her. Anastasia covered her mouth, quietly watching Naga's miserable condition while concern replaced earlier amusement embarrassed. Naga noticed strange looks, while Anastasia departed seeking fresh water supplies. Naga questioned her weakness bitterly, frustrated because extraordinary power offered little control over endurance. Shiuden reviewed supplies, realizing available fish, plants, crabs, and game remained insufficient for everyone. While discussing Naga's condition, Anastasia suddenly arrived alarmed, reporting serious trouble threatening their campsite. The group discovered scattered debris everywhere, finding extensive damage across campgrounds. Examining footprints carefully, Shiuden realized a pig caused destruction, suggesting unfamiliar activity across territory. Anastasia urged immediate departure, believing remaining there invited danger and increased risks for everyone. Accepting her warning, Shuden decided relocating their base offered the safest response under circumstances. Inspecting ruined supplies, Shuden learned damaged containers and destroyed bottles greatly worsened their survival situation. Furious over trespass, Naga prepared pursuit immediately, viewing the destruction as a direct challenge. Ignoring caution, she demanded confrontation, convinced eliminating the culprit prevented further attacks against camp. Shuden reflected, recognizing the boar's territory expanded steadily, despite previous efforts avoiding encounters. The enormous boar appeared before them, forcing Shuden, Anastasia, and Naga into a tense standoff. Shuden studied the massive boar carefully, realizing confrontation became unavoidable. Despite avoiding its territory previously, Anastasia warned failure meant death, while Naga remained composed facing the dangerous threat ahead. Remembering Quakehog feared fire, Anastasia suggested rekindling flames, giving Shuden a possible strategy. Shuden hurriedly attempted preparations, struggling under pressure while Anastasia watched his efforts calmly. Seeing their difficulties, Naga grabbed responsibility confidently, determined to demonstrate superior survival skills herself. Determined to help, Naga rubbed sticks furiously, refusing to accept defeat before the Quakehog. Anastasia watched expressionlessly while Naga struggled, realizing confidence alone could not create flames successfully. Naga persisted stubbornly beside Shuden, exhausting herself further, while desperately forcing sparks from friction. Tiny smoke finally appeared, prompting excitement from Naga, who immediately boasted about real fire. Ignoring Shuden's warning, Naga continued overexerting herself. Driven completely by pride and determination alone, Naga ignored exhaustion again, forcing herself further until violent coughing interrupted her reckless persistence. Still delirious from overexertion, she proudly claimed success while accidentally creating trouble around herself. Anastasia gathered magical energy calmly, preparing a reliable fire source unlike Naga's chaotic attempts. A small flame appeared above the prepared wood, drawing attention as Anastasia continued casting. Anastasia completed her spell confidently, shaping fiery power into a weapon intended against Quakehog. Anastasia demonstrated Ignis Orb successfully, striking a tree and proving fire magic remained usable here. She explained, island magic borrowed existing elements, allowing practical spells without consuming excessive mana. Anastasia identified Quakehog's weakness to fire, though confronting powerful monsters still carried significant danger. Naga praised Anastasia enthusiastically while Shuden listened carefully, considering their chances against Quakehog ahead. Eager for battle, Naga demanded action, but Shuden prioritized planning before risking a confrontation. While discussing strategy, Naga focused elsewhere, fiddling curiously as Anastasia listened beside Shuden quietly. Shuden revealed his shaved beard, leaving Naga startled and briefly unable to recognize him at all. Anastasia admired the cleaner appearance, but Naga reacted loudly, questioning her unusual reaction and judgment entirely. Night arrived, and the trio advanced together, launching their operation against Quakehog with determined resolve and focus. Quakehog's damaged gaze sharpened suddenly, sensing movement through undergrowth. Naga stepped into view before the beast, standing confidently despite danger surrounding her. Taunting its wounded pride, Naga provoked Quakehog deliberately, drawing an enraged charge toward herself without hesitation. Shuden carried Anastasia onward, then realized vibrations approaching rapidly and turned his attention with growing concern. As Quakehog closed in, Anastasia gathered magic energy, preparing support while Shuden watched with renewed determination. 1 hour earlier, Shuden confirmed collected materials, while Anastasia evaluated preparations required for their strategy. Anastasia inspected the constructed site carefully, assuring Shuden and Naga their arrangement remained workable. Shuden explained positions, assigning Naga baiting duties while Anastasia prepared the decisive spell. Anastasia outlined severe limitations, explaining the spell consumed strength entirely and permitted one release. She revealed another risk, requiring extensive preparation time and leaving herself completely immobile afterward. Anastasia explained success depended entirely upon luring Quakehog precisely. When her prepared spell finished casting, she warned maintained magic consumed power rapidly, leaving only 3 minutes for execution. Naga questioned her responsibility, while Shuden recognized failure awaited if precious time disappeared completely. Anastasia estimated a head strike would kill Quakehog, while body impacts merely restrained movement. Dismissing grander options, Anastasia emphasized this custom island spell offered their strongest practical solution. Shuden accepted protection duty beside Anastasia, while Naga remained chosen bait against Quakehog's pursuit. Anastasia began chanting immediately, focusing completely as magical energy gathered steadily between her hands. The spell expanded violently, forming concentrated power, while Anastasia maintained control despite mounting strain. Naga sprinted ahead relentlessly, drawing Quakehog closer as Shiyuden monitored, approaching vibrations behind them. Sensing danger suddenly, she reacted sharply during pursuit, recognizing an unexpected threat emerging ahead. Naga stumbled unexpectedly as Quakehog burst through debris behind her, closing distance with frightening speed. Angered further, she challenged Quakehog directly, refusing humiliation, while continuing the dangerous chase onward. Waiting anxiously, Shiyuden noticed unusual delays and questioned why Naga abandoned their planned route. Exhaustion overwhelmed Anastasia gradually, her senses fading while struggling desperately to maintain spell stability. She suddenly collapsed forward, forcing Shiyuden into action before their carefully prepared plan unraveled. Naga collided directly with Quakehog, grappling fiercely to halt its advance toward Anastasia's position. Anastasia completed her incantation, while Shiyuden desperately warned Naga to escape the impact. Naga remained entangled with Quakehog as Anastasia released Ignis Orb toward their location. The spell struck Quakehog's head precisely, erupting violently and shattering its skull instantly completely. Dust filled the battlefield as Shiyuden supported exhausted Anastasia, hoping their gamble succeeded. Smoke cleared, revealing Quakehog alive, its armored skull enduring Anastasia's strongest attack without collapse. Anastasia realized the spell struck hardened protection, leaving Quakehog enraged rather than defeated completely. Quakehog charged immediately toward them, while Shiyuden shielded exhausted Anastasia from approaching danger. Accepting failure, Shiyuden lifted Anastasia and ordered retreat, abandoning their collapsed hunting strategy. Carrying Anastasia slowed escape considerably, yet Shiyuden rushed forestward hoping terrain hindered pursuit. Shiyuden fled carrying unconscious Anastasia, yet Quakehog shattered forest obstacles relentlessly and closed distance rapidly. Sensing danger, Anastasia awakened, reaching outward helplessly, while noticing Shiyuden's desperate expression clearly before her eyes. Refusing surrender, Shiyuden charged Quakehog directly, striking fiercely and risking himself to protect Anastasia from harm. Quakehog's attack sent Shiyuden crashing aside, leaving Anastasia collapsed alone, while fear rapidly intensified. She noticed Quakehog approaching relentlessly, its heavy footsteps shaking ground, while escape remained impossible. Quakehog lowered its head and charged directly, forcing terrified Anastasia to confront imminent danger. Before Quakehog reached Anastasia, Naga intercepted fiercely, grabbing its snout and halting momentum completely. Naga declared Anastasia her prey, warning others away while protecting her from Quakehog's threat. Naga slammed Quakehog downward, stunning the beast briefly, while Anastasia watched the struggle unfold. Quakehog ignored her entirely, focusing on Anastasia alone, as lingering injuries distorted its judgment. Anastasia realized Quakehog resented her magic attack, making herself the creature's primary target now. Shiyuden analyzed Quakehog's wounds carefully, identifying weaknesses affecting balance, hearing, vision, and charging accuracy. Using Quakehog's blind side, Shiyuden rushed forward decisively and stabbed deep into its flank. Shiyuden targeted Quakehog's heart area, believing boar anatomy similarities could reveal a fatal weakness. His desperate thrust fell short, leaving Quakehog wounded yet alive, while frustration surged immediately. Quakehog reacted unexpectedly, shifting direction and trapping Shiyuden beneath its massive body instead. Pinned under crushing weight, Shiyuden struggled desperately, as Quakehog pressed harder against his body. Anastasia watched helplessly, while Shiyuden gasped for air, realizing his condition was rapidly worsening. Anastasia desperately called for help, while Naga struggled nearby as Shiyuden remained trapped underneath. Despite exhaustion and injuries, she forced herself upright, determined to save Shiyuden somehow. Shiyuden resisted Quakehog's crushing pressure, bracing against a tree while searching for opportunities. He drove his weapon deeper into Quakehog's body, finally reaching a vital area successfully. Quakehog staggered away from Shiyuden, yet lingering hatred kept Anastasia firmly within its focus. After defeating Quakehog, Shiyuden checked himself while Anastasia sat quietly, still shaken by danger. Shiyuden reassured her gently, explaining the violent beast was dead and threatening nobody anymore. Relief overwhelmed Anastasia, and tears emerged as she admitted fear had consumed her completely. Shiyuden praised Anastasia's efforts and comforted her kindly, earning gratitude and renewed confidence, despite lingering injuries. While Shiyuden prepared Quakehog meat, impatient Naga demanded food. Shifting tensions toward recovery, Shiyuden roasted Quakehog tenderloin with mushrooms. Preparing a simple meal with companions, Naga eagerly sampled the skewers, savoring every bite enthusiastically before declaring the meal delicious and satisfying. While she devoured food noisily, Shuden offered thanks for Quakehog's sacrifice and nourishment to everyone present. Anastasia listened quietly as Shuden expressed gratitude, appreciating the gesture and shared survival. Anastasia thanked Shuden for the meal, leaving him surprised by her earnest reaction. Shuden and Anastasia enjoyed Quakehog meat peacefully until rustling sounds suddenly drew their attention. A mysterious demon woman appeared from the forest, weakly approaching camp while seeking food. Anastasia introduced the newcomer as Mylia Varnark, a demon princess descended from the Demon King. Shuden recalled warnings, describing demons as dangerous manipulators responsible for countless calamities across history. Naga opposed helping Mylia, arguing the stranger contributed nothing and had earned no reward. Mylia denied dangerous accusations, explaining hunger drove her actions while requesting food and understanding instead. During discussion, Mylia revealed magiclessness prevented independence, forcing reliance upon others for immediate survival. Mylia promised hard work without complaints, offering labor and dedication in exchange for shelter. Shuden considered her proposal carefully, while Anastasia acknowledged cooperation remained important for surviving. After acceptance, Mylia happily embraced Shuden, thanking everyone warmly while concealing subtle satisfaction beneath. Anastasia recounted Quakehog's defeat fearfully, while Naga focused eating and considered future opportunities elsewhere. Mylia secretly reassured unseen allies, plotting recovery while maintaining appearances beside Shuden and companions. Shuden explained their movements remained restricted, because a violent stinging mohawk pig controlled surrounding territory. After defeating it, Shuden realized exploration could expand across island, revealing opportunities and resources. Mylia noted their group grew larger, while damaged equipment prevented continued water distillation efforts. Hearing the report, Shuden declared securing water remained their most important objective. Shuden planned locating island water sources, yet meat processing demanded attention since 4 remained awaiting consumption. Shuden admired their teamwork while Mylia, Naga and Anastasia gathered together, preparing responsibilities. Naga eagerly accepted exploration duties, believing discovering water sources remained essential for everyone's continued survival. Shuden warned her about hidden monsters, yet she welcomed danger and sought challenges. Anastasia received tasks collecting firewood and distilled water, agreeing despite limited experience and skills. She worried Shuden remained alone beside Mylia, offering assistance while expressing concern about demons. Anastasia explained Mylia's condition remained fragile, let her volunteering lighter duties while recovering strength. Shuden suggested switching assignments, while Mylia and Anastasia accepted the arrangement without raising objections. Returning work resumed immediately as Shuden continued dismantling the beast, carefully processing valuable remains. He instructed Anastasia during butchering, teaching procedures while removing organs from the massive carcass. Anastasia noticed a heart wound, realizing a curse caused death where ordinary injuries failed. Shuden enthusiastically continued butchering, while Anastasia reacted with shock as organs emerged. Anastasia struggled handling innards and odors, while Shuden cheerfully praised their size and weight. Shuden removed the heart successfully, but Anastasia collapsed suddenly, despite following instructions carefully throughout. Mylia arrived carrying supplies as Shuden realized Anastasia fainted, deciding she required immediate rest. Work progressed steadily with Mylia, assisting calmly, accepting materials from Shuden without discomfort or hesitation. Shuden processed meat carefully, believing stable food supplies and exploration would improve their situation greatly. Imagining success, he pictured peaceful days awaiting rescue, free from pressing survival concerns. While working, he remembered survival videos, hoping to recreate useful techniques and practical crafts. Thoughts drifted toward childhood interests, yet Mylia's presence prevented Shuden from relaxing completely. Mylia teased Shuden's playful ambitions, while noticing the heart had been processed remarkably cleanly. Mylia happily admitted, Shuden's acceptance surprised her, since demons usually faced prejudice from others. Shuden revealed he taught students in Tokyo, while Mylia discussed common fears toward demons. Mylia considered herself fortunate because Shuden accepted her without judgment, despite their differences entirely. Questioning demon prejudice, Shuden learned deeper causes existed beyond conflicts between dragons and demons. Mylia explained her father, powerful demon Lord Varkark, emerged centuries ago and dominated realms. Mylia explained demons lost dominance when united races defeated Varkark, ending his reign swiftly. Describing history, she noted demons weakened greatly and could no longer challenge rival powers. Mylia emphasized modern demons preferred peace, while Shuden realized tensions involved complex historical wounds. Shuden reflected on discrimination, understanding past invasions and personal circumstances still shaped relationships. Remembering his acceptance, Mylia admitted his kindness genuinely touched her heart and feelings. Shiyuden dismissed praise casually, but Milia sincerely expressed gratitude, wanting to thank him properly. Milia then approached closely, invoking a charm spell while promising cooperation. She explained succubus magic influenced desires, though its effectiveness had weakened greatly on the island. Milia noticed Shuden lowering his guard, believing the spell finally affected his thoughts and emotions. Encouraging honesty, Milia asked Shuden to express his wishes, while he recalled her earlier promise. Despite Milia's spell, Shuden rejected intimacy, insisting physical exhaustion made such actions impossible presently. Milia accepted his explanation playfully, while intrusive thoughts and embarrassment complicated Shuden's concentration. Shuden admitted preferring hobbies instead, imagining messy activities while Milia reacted with visible confusion. Curious, Milia pressed further questions, causing Shuden to grow flustered while considering personal interests. Realizing his answer, Shuden approached Milia nervously while she responded with amused anticipation and curiosity. Milia confidently teased Shuden, believing her charm succeeded while his resistance weakened considerably. Naga suddenly returned from exploration, interrupting the moment and Milia to struck Shuden. Milia suddenly apologized to him, claimed dizziness while Naga noticed Anastasia sleeping peacefully and unaware. Naga reported completing island reconnaissance, prompting Shiyuden to question her findings about terrain. She revealed a small pond existed there, likely serving as the island's only reliable water source. Naga described the pond she discovered, explaining its water appeared filthy and unsuitable for consumption. Hearing the report, Shuden realized the pond offered little relief because drinking remained impossible. Shuden inspected a pond littered with floating animal corpses, while Anastasia and Naga watched anxiously. Anastasia questioned whether the water remained drinkable as Shuden considered crude purification methods, recalling an extreme survival technique reluctantly. Shuden rejected the unpleasant idea because no suitable tube existed, then noticed scattered flesh fragments indicating predation around, and suspected a dangerous predator. Discussing possibilities, Shuden and Anastasia considered contamination, while knowledge about quakehogs revealed creatures capable of using poison as a natural hunting adaptation. Examining evidence, they concluded poisoned water had paralyzed thirsty animals, and a quakehog reshaped the ecosystem, completely causing ecological collapse. Shuden explained the quakehog's poison could devastate island ecology, warning that even limited environmental damage threatened everyone's survival severely. Anastasia worried about remaining freshwater sources, prompting Shiyuden to think quietly while searching memory for overlooked clues elsewhere. Shiyuden remembered seeing banana leaves on the island earlier, then inspected a tree and confirmed its identity without hesitation through careful observation. He collected liquid from the banana trunk, presented it to Anastasia, and offered a practical alternative to dangerous water sources. Anastasia found the liquid refreshing and thirst-quenching, while Naga reacted strongly to its bitter grassy taste, creating a brief contrast. Shuden explained, banana plants stored significant water within their stems, demonstrating how drilling a cut trunk provided accessible liquid reserves. Remembering survival knowledge, he noted plant moisture alone was insufficient, yet it revealed additional methods for obtaining water beyond streams. Leading Anastasia and Naga forward, he pointed toward coconuts, explaining untouched fruits remained available, despite local wildlife consuming many. Anastasia reacted excitedly upon hearing numerous coconuts still existed, while Shuden admitted previous searches covered only a limited area. Seeking greater resources, he searched for a stick to knock down coconuts, while Naga questioned why climbing seemed unnecessary. Shuden warned that climbing trees carried injury risks, explaining safer techniques existed, though they required effort and careful control during ascent. Ignoring caution, Naga swiftly climbed the coconut tree herself, and enthusiastically gathered fruits, prompting Shuden to leave collection duties entirely. While returning toward camp, Shiyuden reflected that many island resources were already exhausted and recalled several useful locations discovered earlier. To improve efficiency, he crafted simple stone blades while Mila managed seawater distillation, handling the demanding heating process independently. Shuden continued dismantling harvested meat as Anastasia sliced portions into thin strips, preparing supplies for smoking and longer preservation. While butchering the monster, Shuden realized much of its meat was too tough for consumption, though smoking preserved the usable portions. Inspecting the smoking structure, he estimated the preserved meat could sustain everyone for over a month, despite uncertain future hunting. He concluded, food shortages were manageable for now, relying on coconuts and plant water, though fresh water remained the greatest concern. 2 weeks had passed without rescue, despite constant smoke signals, and Shuden quietly worried, because clear skies showed no rainfall. Watching the distant horizon, the group encouraged Shuden to remain responsible and continue leading efforts to secure everyone's survival. As darkness approached the forest, Anastasia worried about visibility, while Shuden noticed Naga had not returned despite nearing dinner time already. A sudden scream echoed through the island, instantly drawing attention and alarming the group as they recognized familiar distress. Realizing the voice belonged to Naga, Shuden rushed toward the sound while Anastasia followed closely through the darkening forest. They quickly located Naga, and Shiden demanded an explanation, expecting danger after hearing such a desperate cry moments earlier. Instead of panic, Naga urgently grabbed Shuden and pulled him forward, insisting he follow immediately towards something important nearby. Following Naga's lead, the group reached the shore and spotted a distant island where strange light flashed across the horizon. Shiden observed the phenomenon carefully, realizing the glow resembled an aurora and suggesting the distant landmass was surprisingly large. Anastasia explained magical phenomena required mana, making the mysterious light unusual. Though she considered investigating the island despite uncertainty, hope spread among the group as Anastasia suggested usable magic might exist there, creating a possible path home. Shuden considered practical benefits while Anastasia worried about her army, both recognizing the island could contain valuable resources and answers. Melia showing little interest in continuing discussion about the distant island discovery, while Naga abruptly announced her hunger and prepared to leave. Shuden stopped her departure, reminding Melia they had already investigated the important matter she wanted everyone to witness firsthand. Growing excited, Naga urged the group toward camp, revealing dinner included her favorite internal organs and demanding everyone hurry. The group's attention shifted completely from exploration plans, as Naga enthusiastically prioritized eating, encouraging everyone to satisfy hunger first. Returning together, they prepared a large meal featuring preserved monster organs, turning dinner into a celebratory feast for survival. While preparing dinner, Anastasia questioned eating monster organs, though Naga insisted internal parts spoiled quickly and should be consumed first. Remembering the unpleasant butchering process, Anastasia struggled with hesitation and doubted she could bring herself to taste the organs. Watching Naga enjoy the meal enthusiastically, Anastasia reconsidered her reluctance and wondered whether the organs might actually taste acceptable. Naga eagerly demonstrated her approval by devouring a piece immediately, while Anastasia reacted with overwhelming shock and discomfort. After finally trying the food, Anastasia disliked its squishy texture intensely, while Naga defended the flavor and Shuden reflected quietly. Anastasia quickly drank coconut water to remove the lingering taste, finding relief immediately, while Naga watched her reaction curiously nearby. Naga sampled the coconut afterward but reacted terribly, spitting it out at once and questioning how anyone could enjoy it. The strange contrast continued as Naga struggled with the drink, leaving Anastasia surprised by her unusually intense response. Anastasia arguing Naga lacked refinement because she rejected coconut water while praising monster organs. Melia remained silent. Melia silently described Anastasia's unusual tastes, astonishing everyone by contrasting them with her reputation as a warrior who crushed demons. Melia's comparison triggered memories of brutal warfare, recalling how a sheltered princess could never understand countless deaths across battlefields. Naga relaxed after eating heavily, boasting that overflowing strength filled her body while Melia listened without sharing the enthusiasm. Brimming with confidence and energy, Naga challenged Melia to a fight, turning the peaceful meal gathering into competition. Shuden sat while Naga confidently challenged Melia. Curious about her reputation, she demanded combat. Naga stepped closer and praised Melia's strength. Melia watched quietly while Shuden recognized the dragoness and reacted cautiously. Melia tried correcting a misunderstanding, but questions about inheriting the demon lord's power interrupted her. Naga listened intensely while confusion spread between them. Naga froze in shock upon hearing Melia's explanation. Her expression changed immediately, showing disbelief as unexpected information surfaced. Melia explained she lacked magical swordsmanship. She revealed twin demon sisters' specialties, prompting Anastasia and Naga to reconsider everything carefully before making judgments. Naga dismissed Melia's explanation and questioned her abilities. Anastasia described their separation, while Naga complained about enduring isolation completely. Melia explained the accident that split their group. Naga and Anastasia listened, revealing she survived 3 difficult days without companions. Melia admitted their past hostility, yet remembered working together. Shuden struggled understanding why someone once considered an enemy treated him kindly. Shuden worried Naga might harm Melia. Naga denied any intention, while Melia reacted nervously and rejected assumptions about her situation. Before anyone understood her intentions, Naga suddenly grabbed Shuden and pulled him close. Anastasia watched anxiously as confusion spread. Naga moved closer to Shuden, teasing him while claiming improvement. Anastasia noticed the situation immediately and rushed forward. Anastasia shouted for Naga to leave Shuden alone. She stretched both hands, placing herself between them while watching Naga carefully. Melia found the scene amusing. Naga suddenly reacted, realizing Shuden's body felt unexpectedly firm, leaving her startled and completely distracted. Shuden quickly clarified the misunderstanding and explained the hardness came from an object concealed near his waist, not from himself. He revealed a special knife called Maiden's Mercy and compared its shape against Naga's earlier touch. Naga unimpressed by the explanation. Shuden examined Maiden's Mercy while Anastasia stared blankly. Discussion shifted toward the talisman's origin, leaving Shuden questioning its placement. Embarrassed by the misunderstanding, Naga loudly declared she needed exercise. She rushed away determined to release excess energy through movement. Shuden turned his attention toward Mylia's condition. Remembering Naga's unusual behavior, he carefully considered the effects of her eating habits. Melia quietly thanked Shuden for his kindness and leaned against him. Anastasia watched silently, noticing their growing trust and comfort. Naga sprinted along the shoreline beneath the night sky. Back at camp, the others rested peacefully around their temporary shelter. Shuden inspected the drying leather and reviewed progress. Satisfied with the tanning process, he prepared remaining steps. Checking his phone, he realized hours had passed. He followed instructions successfully, then worried about battery power running critically low. Now Anastasia approached carrying a coconut and called out to Shuden near the campfire. Her cheerful arrival briefly, she returned the phone fully charged, astonishing Shuden with unexpected results. Her magical practice had strengthened enough to restore electricity. Later they discussed her growing magical research and the charging technique. Shuden suggested rest, yet Anastasia admitted she still could not sleep properly. Shuden questioned whether reaching the strange phenomenon could return everyone home. Anastasia considered the possibility and recalled the unusual event. Anastasia explained natural and magical phenomena sometimes interact unexpectedly. She described strange environmental changes and monster transformations. Shuden reasoned that magical phenomena likely contained mana. If they reached such a location, everyone might regain magic and return home. While Shuden ate from a coconut, Anastasia asked for his opinion. He paused silently, carefully organizing his thoughts before answering. Shuden explained the ocean's visible distance using Earth's curvature. He estimated roughly 4.7 kilometers before objects disappeared from sight. Shuden estimated another island stood roughly 10 kilometers away. Using elevation and visibility, he explained how they spotted it from their position earlier. He doubted the estimate immediately, admitted the distant island likely lacked resources, especially fresh water by now. Crossing the sea remained dangerous, yet Shuden believed reaching the other island offered their best chance for survival until rescue eventually arrived there. Anastasia noted mana might exist beyond the water. Shuden considered that possibility and described abundant resources. Shuden encouraged Anastasia, saying restored magic could provide a route home if discovered there. He urged her to treat the expedition. Anastasia happily accepted Shuden's plan and imagined returning home. Thoughts of ongoing battles resurfaced, reminding her responsibilities. While considering departure, Anastasia realized she might never meet Shuden again. She quietly wished for an opportunity to repay his kindness. Shuden called her name, embarrassed. Anastasia blamed smoke irritation and excused herself while urging him toward rest. Left alone, Shuden considered improving his leather smoking process. Exhaustion accumulated as dawn approached, making rest seem increasingly necessary for him. As sleep overtook him, Shuden noticed a strange dark vision confused by the sudden image. He questioned what appeared before him. Shuden suddenly awoke inside a strange dream. Naga, Melia, and Anastasia surrounded him closely, greeting him cheerfully. Melia happily explained they prepared a special reward for Shuden. Shocked by the unexpected situation, he immediately panicked. Shuden reminded himself everything was merely a dream. Melia playfully argued that dreams existed to be enjoyed without restraint. Instead, Melia teased Shuden about his self-control and suggested dreams reflected hidden desires. Her confident attitude left him increasingly flustered and uncertain. The three women pressed their advantage and continued teasing him together. Shuden reacted nervously as the dream grew even more overwhelming. Shuden woke abruptly as Anastasia pushed Melia away. Confused and embarrassed, he demanded an explanation for everything happening. Melia explained, she only tried keeping him warm during sleep. Anastasia listened suspiciously, while Shuden processed the misunderstanding. Shuden changed the subject and asked about smoked meat. Naga approached while camp conversations gradually settled into calmer discussion. Shiuden stood and prepared to retrieve the stored meat from his pocket. Anastasia and Naga watched closely. Milia smiled knowingly, while Anastasia stared in disbelief. Shiuden remained oblivious to their growing expectations and confusion around the situation entirely. Naga suddenly realized what pressed against him earlier. Her face twisted with shock, and she screamed the discovery loudly in horror. Shiuden suddenly noticed his missing pants and panicked. Anastasia cried out in embarrassment, while an awkward silence spread across. Naga stood motionless before Shiuden. Her intimidating presence overwhelmed him completely, while tension rose sharply as she awaited his response. Shiuden tried calming Naga and backing away. Naga advanced aggressively, then bluntly demanded pregnancy, leaving him completely stunned. Naga declared she would seize whatever she desired. Anastasia protested immediately, insisting Shiuden disliked such actions and deserved consideration first. Anastasia raised her hands and firmly opposed Naga's behavior, determined to protect Shiuden. She prepared using her powers if necessary. Anastasia stepped between Naga and Shiuden, challenging her recklessness. Naga dismissed the warning, while Shiuden watched their argument uneasily nearby. Milia quietly smiled while observing the confrontation. She appeared confident, seemingly believing events were progressing according to expectations around her. Anastasia argued that demon conflicts would only worsen their race's decline. Naga listened silently as practical concerns replaced emotional reactions. Milia warned Naga about future consequences if strength returned. Shiuden attempted stopping the dispute, hoping everyone would remain cooperative. Shiuden proposed having children instead of fighting. His unexpected suggestion shocked Milia completely, transforming the tense discussion into confusion. Naga became interested immediately, but he raised a hand and requested patience first for now. Shiuden explained, dragon customs where women choose partners. Shiuden described a homeland ritual requiring combat before reproduction. He presented it as tradition for determining compatibility and health. Naga accepted its logic. Milia and Anastasia surprised by his reasoning during the unusual discussion about reproduction. Naga summarized the conditions confidently. She declared that victory meant pregnancy, adding magical ability could measure physical strength. Milia questioned how events reached this point. Naga accepted the proposal, while Shiuden guided everyone toward beach for the planned contest. Shiuden considered Anastasia's abilities and decided she should handle the duel. Milia warned him Naga remained dangerous despite weakened strength. Shiuden explained Anastasia's strongest magic required preparation. Since practical combat demanded immediate action, those techniques offered little advantage. He reflected on Naga's personality and recent experiences. He concluded she relied heavily on strength and preferred forceful solutions consistently. Naga confidently prepared herself for confrontation. Shiuden understood persuasion would fail, believing only direct victory could change her determination. Anastasia questioned his decision, fearing unnecessary risks. Shiuden reassured everyone and accepted responsibility, determined to settle the situation personally himself. Shiuden faced Naga on the beach and established battle rules. Naga accepted immediately, understanding the contest would measure physical strength. He praised Naga's enthusiasm while hiding his real intentions. Internally, he admitted inventing the custom specifically to influence her. Shiuden analyzed Naga carefully before fighting. Remembering her exhaustion and hunger, he realized circumstances greatly favored his chances now. The duel began as Naga charged directly toward him. Shiuden raised his guard confidently, believing victory remained realistically achievable. Naga attacked with remarkable speed, despite her condition. Shiuden reacted instantly, while both fighters exchanged aggressive movements during opening clash. Naga launched relentless punches toward Shiuden. He endured the assault carefully, studying her movements while searching for weaknesses during combat. Despite reduced strength, she attacked ferociously and maintained pressure. Shiuden remained focused, believing experience against human fighters could help. Shiuden activated a mental technique built from observing countless delinquents. By analyzing fighting styles, he aimed to predict attacks. Blocking a powerful strike, he compared Naga's movements to familiar opponents. Recognizing patterns increased his confidence during the exchange. Shiuden recalled fighters known for long limbs and heavy attacks. Their similarities helped him categorize Naga's style and prepare counters. Shiuden analyzed Naga's attacks carefully and compared them with familiar fighters. Combining observations, he gradually understood her combat style. His confidence increased as patterns became clearer. Shiuden mentally organized Naga's movements, allowing him to anticipate her actions accurately. Naga launched another fierce assault without hesitation. Prepared for the attack, Shiuden reacted immediately and positioned himself advantageously during combat. Using precise timing, Shiuden redirected Naga's momentum. Her charge failed completely, and she crashed heavily into the ground before spectators. Naga struggled to understand her sudden defeat. Shuden explained he used a throwing technique, exploiting her momentum and weakened condition. Shuden declared Naga defeated and explained her condition dizzy from striking her head. She could no longer continue fighting properly. Anastasia checked whether Shuden was injured. Malia observed silently, while Shuden reflected on the throw's effectiveness and Naga's stubbornness. Shuden spoke confidently with Anastasia. She realized he held greater influence within their group than she had previously assumed. Naga struggled with unfamiliar emotions after losing. Shuden approached calmly, offered her clothes, and attempted easing the awkward situation. Lying defeated, Naga admitted the outcome confused her greatly. Despite confidence in her strength, exhaustion and circumstances had weakened her. Naga questioned her repeated defeats while struggling emotionally. Shuden listened quietly as she unexpectedly admitted losing could sometimes help growth. Shuden encouraged Naga and explained her weakness. Relying only on power made attacks predictable, allowing opponents opportunities to exploit openings. He advised learning from failures instead of fearing them. Naga listened carefully, realizing improvement required understanding mistakes and limitations. Shuden suddenly questioned why he was mentoring Naga. The realization amused him, yet he continued offering guidance regardless. Anyway, Naga wondered whether greater strength remained possible. Shuden recommended moderation, while she admitted staying beside him might help her improve. Naga admitted Shuden changed her perspective. Embarrassed yet sincere, she confessed nobody had ever made her reconsider strength before. Their conversation halted when Naga felt sudden chest pain. Confused, she complained while Shuden struggled remembering any injury causing it. Anastasia revealed experiencing similar symptoms occasionally. She explained the strange condition appeared only after arriving on the island unexpectedly. Melia listened with confusion as the others discussed possibilities. Growing concerned, she wondered whether everyone had contracted an island disease. Shuden secured food, using quake hog meat, coconuts, and plants, easing survival concerns while guiding others. The group advanced through dense vegetation, searching for protein sources and clues, expecting discoveries hidden among unfamiliar terrain. Melia smiled gratefully and praised Shuden's reliability, then stumbled during travel, prompting him to steady her before injury occurred and keep the pace. Anastasia watched closely, annoyed by Naga's attachment, then nervously requested Shuden's hand, fearing another fall during exploration, while hiding her jealousy. Shuden examined scattered fruit and a cut tree, identifying mangoes and concluding someone had harvested resources on the island before their arrival. Shuden explained that mangoes contained useful nutrients and fiber, helping survival efforts, while Anastasia listened carefully and learned about unfamiliar foods. Anastasia observed evidence across the island and concluded one creature had consumed many resources, matching traces linked to the quakehog. Shuden considered the island's ecosystem unusual, realizing the powerful quakehog should not have survived long under such limited conditions. The group discussed the mystery further, determining the creature originated elsewhere, raising questions about how it reached the island. Shuden noticed a strange structure attached to a tree, studied it closely, and identified the object as a termite nest. Shuden recognized the termite nest, recalling practical uses against mosquitoes, then decided collecting samples could provide another helpful survival resource. Curious, Shuden tasted part of the nest, explaining termites contained protein and energy, while Anastasia watched his unusual experiment cautiously. Anastasia questioned eating insects despite available meat. Yet Shuden argued testing resources remained worthwhile, because opportunities should not be ignored. He admitted the flavor seemed acceptable, despite its appearance, then casually suggested Naga should try some before judging it. Naga angrily rejected the suggestion, insisting dragons should not eat insects, while Anastasia quietly revealed curiosity about tasting them herself. Melia eagerly accepted Shuden's offer, asking for a small taste, while Anastasia watched curiously as he handed over the termite nest. She quickly swallowed the sample, then smiled confidently, leaving the others waiting for her honest reaction, without revealing much immediately. Melia declared the taste surprisingly pleasant, though her flushed expression and sweating face suggested stronger feelings than her words admitted. Anastasia stared in amazement at Shuden's unusual knowledge, while he casually explained termites ranked among the tastiest edible insects. Spotting a decayed tree, Shuden suspected larvae might be hidden inside, then recommended searching it for another valuable survival food. Melia grew interested in the larvae, Anastasia reacted with surprise, and Naga dismissed the topic completely, finding insects unworthy of attention. Shuden inspected the rotten wood and confirmed larvae were present, explaining survival guides described their flavor as creamy and nutty. Anastasia cautiously requested a portion and reasoned small larvae seemed manageable. Excited by the discovery, Shuden urged immediate testing. Searching deeper within the wood, Shuden uncovered an unusually large larva, leaving Anastasia completely stunned by its unexpected size. Shuden considered dividing the larva into smaller pieces, but Anastasia hesitated, so he decided to eat the entire specimen himself. As Shuden tried the large larva, the liquid burst unexpectedly across Anastasia's face and Malia's chest, leaving both completely startled. Embarrassed by the accident, Shuden apologized immediately, while Malia remained calm and suggested washing away the mess at the beach. Anastasia then presented Shuden's damaged underwear, revealing she had discovered them and wanted an explanation regarding their condition. Shuden explained the underwear could no longer be worn, describing how they had been cleaned carefully and repurposed as cloth. Anastasia remained unconvinced, questioning why Shuden continued wearing deteriorated clothing, prompting him to explain the waistband broke recently. Anastasia examined the torn underwear closely and suspected sabotage, believing the damage looked deliberate rather than caused by ordinary wear. She recalled leaving briefly, then returning to find Melita leaning against Shuden, linking the event to her suspicion. Argued the timing seemed suspicious, she noting the underwear failed exactly when Naga approached, making coincidence difficult to accept. Melia defended herself calmly, claiming Anastasia treated her like the culprit, while Shuden listened awkwardly to the accusation. Anastasia urged Shuden to consider her theory seriously, but Melia insisted she only wanted harmony and friendship within the group. Shuden dismissed Anastasia's suspicions as coincidence and urged everyone to stop arguing, but his response left her deeply hurt. Refusing to accept his decision, Anastasia stormed away alone, while Melia advised Shuden to give her space temporarily. Walking along the shore, Anastasia complained about Shuden's trust in Melia, ignoring her exhaustion despite traveling for many hours. Separated from the group, she wandered beside rocky cliffs and continued brooding over the disagreement, occupying her thoughts. She suddenly sensed magical energy around the cliffs, causing her frustration to fade as curiosity drew her attention elsewhere. Following the magical presence, Anastasia discovered a hidden cave containing abandoned belongings, campfire remains, and clear signs of habitation. Examining colorful boxes and unfamiliar objects, Anastasia realized the items resembled human possessions Shuden had previously described to her. Melia arrived searching for Anastasia, then both noticed a massive sword, which Anastasia immediately recognized as the magic blade Ragnarok. She reacted with suspicious excitement, suggesting her missing brother might have stayed there, while Anastasia questioned her sudden enthusiasm. Studying the cave carefully, Anastasia concluded someone had lived there, then accused Melia of creating the illusion barrier. Anastasia identified the illusion barrier immediately, explaining weak mana made its construction flawed, allowing her to recognize the deception. Melia denied responsibility and claimed ignorance, while Anastasia remained unconvinced and decided the magic sword belonged with Shuden. Melia suddenly suggested Anastasia liked Shuden, catching her off guard and shifting the conversation away from the cave's mystery. Grinning mischievously, she shoved Anastasia onto the ground, then remarked that Shuden would not be arriving there soon. Melia revealed she redirected Shuden elsewhere while searching for Anastasia, then teased that Anastasia received more attention from her. Anastasia analyzed Melia's abilities, realizing her mana control remained dangerous, despite lacking combat magic suited for direct confrontation. Melia calmly noted Anastasia's vulnerability, while Anastasia prepared herself cautiously and evaluated whether the demoness intended hostility or intimidation. Covering one eye, Melia addressed her absent brother confidently, implying he watched everything and understood the situation already. A dark aura erupted around Melia, startling Anastasia as the demoness underwent a dramatic transformation before her eyes. Wielding Ragnarok, the transformed Melia revealed herself as the magic swordsman Ishua, leaving Anastasia shocked by the revelation. Melia fully transformed into Ishua, wielding the sword effortlessly while Anastasia stared in disbelief, unable to comprehend the unfamiliar power. Without hesitation, Ishua swung Ragnar Fike and unleashed a destructive blast, forcing Anastasia backward as the attack shattered rock. Anastasia realized the sword chose specific masters, granting overwhelming strength, while ordinary users could barely lift it or control its true might properly. Standing behind Anastasia, Ashua raised Ragnar Fake and prepared another strike, declaring the weapon's true power could awaken completely. Before the blow landed, Shuden rushed forward and grabbed Anastasia, pulling her away as danger erupted around them and splintered. Ishua chased Shuden and Anastasia relentlessly, swinging Ragnar Fake with deadly force, determined to strike despite their desperate attempt to escape. While pursuing them, Ishua sensed an unexpected presence ahead, causing her charge to halt as something unusual entered view. Suddenly, Naga emerged before Ishua, drawing her attention completely, while she tightened her grip and carefully assessed circumstances. Naga attacked first, yet Ishua blocked effortlessly with Ragnar Fake, remaining confused because the creature's behavior seemed strangely unnatural. Shiyuden protected Anastasia behind him as Naga arrived, while Ishua confronted the beast and realized Melia's information contained discrepancies. Shiyuden revealed he tracked Melia's movements, while Ishua questioned his interference and insisted another matter required immediate attention first. Anastasia explained Melia and her brother Ishua shared one body, using a special transformation skill that changed identities completely. Shiyuden confronted Ishua directly, realizing previous stories contained falsehoods, while noting each transformation created a distinctly different personality and behavior. Naga identified Ishua as an enemy targeting Anastasia, then accused him of approaching their group only to eliminate them. Ishua proposed joining forces against Anastasia and Shiyuden, but Naga fiercely rejected him, declaring Anastasia belonged under her protection. Rejecting cooperation entirely, Ishua raised Ragnar Fake and declared everyone present his enemies, preparing to eliminate the whole group personally. Shiyuden raised both hands and attempted negotiations, yet immediately realized Ishua carried genuine killing intent and wanted battle instead. Facing the threat, he recalled confronting a delinquent swordsman before and remembered the decisive technique he used successfully. Then, that memory showed Shiyuden calmly contacting authorities, resolving the dangerous situation without violence, despite facing an armed opponent directly. Drawing from experience, he charged forward while lecturing Ishua that reckless killing solved nothing and only ruined lives meaninglessly. Naga lunged at Ishua aggressively, treating the transformed swordsman as a dangerous enemy, while Ishua calmly blocked her assault. Their clash intensified rapidly, with Naga unleashing repeated strikes, while Ishua defended smoothly, refusing to yield any ground. She pressed forward again, attempting another direct attack, yet Ishua reacted instantly and read her movements before impact arrived. Ishua countered with a precise blow, forcing Naga to cough violently as the sudden strike disrupted her momentum completely. Recognizing an opening, Ishua raised Ragnar Fake overhead and prepared a decisive finishing attack, while Naga struggled to recover quickly. Shiyuden rushed directly toward Ishua, attempting to restrain him physically. Yet the transformed swordsman evaded capture through superior speed. Ishua launched precise attacks without hesitation, forcing Shiyuden onto defense while revealing combat skills far beyond Naga's aggressive style. Recognizing direct engagement was impossible, Shiyuden searched desperately for a ranged option, hoping to disrupt Ishua's rhythm somehow. Before forming a plan, he lost balance and crashed heavily, leaving himself exposed as Ishua maintained complete control. Ishua raised Ragnar Fake above Shiyuden and claimed him as prey, preparing another attack while the trapped man faced immediate danger. Cornered beneath Ragnar Fake, Shiyuden suddenly sprayed disinfectant into Ishua's face, interrupting the swordsman's attack and creating a brief opening. The spray struck Ishua's eye directly, causing intense pain and forcing him backward while struggling against the unexpected irritation. Seizing the opportunity, Shiyuden rushed forward and punched Ishua hard, determined to stop him before another attack could begin. Ishua recovered quickly despite the blow, raising Ragnar Fake again while Shiyuden realized he had underestimated his opponent's resilience. Before Ishua could retaliate, Naga appeared behind him and grabbed hold, creating a crucial chance to change battle's flow. Naga seized the opening and struck Ishua hard, repaying his earlier attack while forcing him into a vulnerable position. Celebrating loudly, she helped restrain Ishua alongside Shiyuden, preventing further resistance and ending the dangerous confrontation successfully for now. Shiyuden bound Ishua securely and began questioning him, explaining he wanted answers, while ensuring Melia could not escape responsibility. Ishua revealed transformations prevented direct communication since one consciousness slept whenever the other personality controlled their shared body. Shiyuden requested to speak with Melia instead, but Ishua explained switching voluntarily was impossible because neither consciousness controlled transformations. Ishua explained transformations consumed enormous mana reserves, leaving both siblings dependent on stored magical energy within their shared body. He admitted repeated transformations exhausted his mana completely, preventing Melia's return, while Anastasia lacked knowledge regarding such unusual magic. Shiyuden questioned Ishua's honesty and motives, noting there was no reliable method available to verify any statement provided. Ishua confessed their attack targeted wartime enemies, explaining Ragnar Fake and depleted mana left him unable to continue resisting. Accepting defeat, he promised cooperation, yet Shiyuden remained cautious, recognizing someone with murderous intent required constant observation and suspicion. In past, Melia and Ashua watched from afar, pleased their plan succeeded, believing the encounter created the perfect opening for action. They explained their objective involved, forcing a response, then instructed Melia to continue while she handled separate matters. Both launched forward through the air and unleashed tremendous power, sending destructive energy surging directly toward their intended target. A blinding collision erupted between opposing forces, filling the area with overwhelming light and leaving the outcome completely unclear. Ishwa sensed unprecedented magic power and urgently called for Melia, admitting she could no longer maintain control herself. Melia warned Ishwa that failure would expose her completely to the unleashed magic, leaving their effort barely sustainable. Accepting the risk, the pair activated a secret fusion technique, merging their powers together as brilliant light engulfed everything. Melia awoke alone on the beach, confused and exhausted, coughing heavily while struggling to understand her current situation. Realizing the fusion succeeded, Melia concluded Ishwa now shared the same body, then attempted contacting him mentally. Receiving no response, Melia worried something went wrong, until a distant explosion echoed across the island and caught her attention. Melia discovered Shuden and Anastasia confronting a giant creature, then watched secretly as Shuden exchanged powerful blows against it. Observing from concealment, Melia noticed the pair appeared settled, while Shuden and Anastasia seemed accustomed to surviving together already. Melia questioned their relationship and wondered whether hostilities had ended, or if circumstances simply forced temporary cooperation between them. Unsure about the situation, she decided to remain hidden until her brother awakened, carefully avoiding interference with ongoing events. Remembering her own needs, she shifted focus toward finding food, realizing survival remained important despite the strange developments unfolding. Searching alone for food, Melia heard a strange sound and wondered whether any edible fruit could still be found nearby. A wild boar appeared and stared aggressively at Melia, while Ishwa questioned why such a creature showed hostility toward her. Annoyed, she attempted casting magic against the beast, but her spell failed completely, leaving her frustrated and vulnerable instead. The boars charged immediately, forcing her to flee in panic as multiple beasts pursued her relentlessly through the area. Escaping briefly, she discovered a mushroom and stopped, then leaned against Ragnarok while trying desperately to recover her breath. Fleeing the pursuing beasts, Melia tumbled into a pitfall trap and crashed hard, dropping her composure during the unexpected fall. Lying inside the hole, she angrily demanded Ishwa awaken, furious that traps humiliated a member of her noble family. While recovering, she noticed a large fruit resting beside her and immediately focused attention on the unexpected discovery. Holding the fruit, Melia finally sensed Ishwa responding, then scolded him for remaining unconscious within their shared body. Ignoring Ishwa's confusion, she proudly smashed the fruit against Ragnarok. Pleased her simple method opened it effortlessly, without effort. Melia proudly showed Ishwa belongings recovered from the beach, claiming she cleverly discovered useful items hidden inside abandoned luggage. While eating cookies from the luggage, Melia explained she learned some modern language through newspapers and incomplete written notes. Watching Shuden and Anastasia from concealment, she questioned why they remained there and asked Ishwa about the ongoing war. Melia explained the elf princess and dragon princess had allied, while their forces remained stranded on the island together. Discussing Anastasia's stored mana, she suspected weakness from overuse, admitted she had manipulated quakehogs toward them repeatedly. Hidden nearby, Melia overheard Shuden's group celebrating victory and planning future hunts, becoming excited by their unexpected success. Melia considered joining them, noting Shuden consistently exceeded expectations and handled situations far better than she predicted. Stepping forward confidently, she proposed infiltrating the group and destroying it internally, startling Shuden and Anastasia immediately. Back to present, Shuden still discussed with Anastasia and Naga through the island, while Oshua remained tied at the tree and observed them in silence. Remembering Melia's warning, Ishua abandoned sabotage plans, deciding remaining hidden offered greater advantages until she understood everyone better. Melia explained abundant mana preserved the fusion, while Shuden learned separating Ishua now could permanently leave Melia transformed. Ishua proposed hiding their condition and quietly gathering mana, believing unsuspecting opponents would approach confidently. Anastasia carefully examined Shuden's injured hand, promising only to verify his condition and ensure he remained safe despite recent battles. They discussed Ishua, agreeing further questions remained unanswered and deciding to keep him restrained temporarily until they understood his intentions. Preparing for cooperation, the group postponed leaving the island, while Anastasia questioned why Shuden had followed Melia and monitored her movements so closely. Anastasia questioned Shuden's actions, noting suspicious incidents involving Melia, while wondering whether he sensed danger before anyone else did. Shuden admitted Melia behaved strangely, yet lacking decisive evidence. He avoided accusations because targeting an innocent person could worsen everything. Instead, he quietly observed Melia's behavior and searched for clues, choosing caution rather than forcing conclusions without proper verification. Anastasia emphasized maintaining peace remained essential despite difficult circumstances, while Shuden acknowledged cooperation offered their best chance for stability. When Anastasia challenged his reluctance, Shuden explained he preferred confirming facts personally, refusing to judge others through assumptions alone. Shuden explained his decisions came from an outsider's perspective, believing everyone deserved a fair chance to escape together safely. He admitted arriving on the island left him terrified and overwhelmed, then realized enduring complete isolation would have been unbearable. Constant monster attacks and poor sleep steadily damaged his mental state, leaving him struggling until circumstances gradually began improving. Anastasia listened quietly as Shuden reflected on their first meeting, recognizing the importance their encounter held for him. Shuden revealed Anastasia's presence prevented his spirit from collapsing entirely, crediting her support with saving both his hope and life. Shuden promised he would protect Anastasia and ensure everyone escaped the island, leaving her speechless as she absorbed his heartfelt words. Anastasia remembered when Melia remarked that Anastasia liked Shuden. While the elf girl became flustered and noticed her racing heartbeat, she struggled to understand her emotions, then gradually realized those unfamiliar feelings toward Shuden might actually be love itself. Ishwa peeked through the cabin door, spotted Miley inside, welcomed her brother warmly while sitting confidently. She explained that the room existed within a dream shaped from Ishwa's memories, prepared specifically for their discussion. Melia proudly showed how accurately the hut matched old memories, pointing out details, including sheets Ishwa once dampened, and other forgotten traces. Exactly. Despite Ishwa's embarrassment, Melia laughed and continued teasing, praising her own careful observations while demonstrating the recreated details. Turning serious, Ishwa asked about next steps. Melia urged him to establish groundwork and seize the present chance before pursuing greater plans ahead. Melia confidently proposed rebuilding trust with their former companions. She believed friendship could be restored, giving Ishwa a practical path forward. She explained that remaining close would create opportunities, since disguises were impossible. Now, their damaged credibility required direct effort. Ishwa listened quietly while Melia maintained her composure. Her determined expression revealed confidence. Though his reaction suggested lingering uncertainty remained, the discussion shifted toward war. Melia envisioned overwhelming victory, describing immense demonic forces advancing together and eliminating every remaining opponent. Battlefield excitement spread through the gathered demons. Ishwa's trembling hands drew attention, while Miley eagerly interpreted his tension as anticipation. Standing above the battlefield, Miley appraised Ishwa's feared reputation. She confidently predicted bloodshed ahead, while immense armies gathered beneath them. Ishwa panicked at becoming the enemy again. He grabbed his head, struggling to accept the situation while Melia watched calmly. Overwhelmed by anxiety, Ishwa begged Melia to replace him. He admitted lacking confidence and feared facing everyone personally there. Melia immediately seized him and scolded his weakness. She demanded courage, insisting he stop embarrassing the demon race entirely. Ishwa requested guidance through tears. Melia dismissed his worries, reminding him the prophecy favored demons and victory remained inevitable. Melia explained that two minds could coexist within one body. Ishwa listened carefully while recalling an old poem and its meaning. Considering the limited mana supply, Ishwa realized maintaining separate consciousnesses demanded enormous energy. The situation imposed strict practical limitations instead. His mood visibly dropped while thinking about separation. Melia reassured him, reminding him their connection would not disappear completely. Melia proposed simple communication rules and urged Ishwa to rebuild trust. She remained confident people could be persuaded again. A sudden noise interrupted their discussion. Melia questioned Ishwa closely, seeking confirmation while he reacted with visible confusion instead. In present, Shuden suddenly stormed into the dream space. He shouted repeatedly, striking Ishwa awake while the startled demon struggled to respond. Furious, he demanded Ishwa stop acting absent-minded. He insisted the demon stay alert and face reality, instead of retreating. Tears formed as Ishwa endured the harsh scolding. Remembering his position, he forced himself to hide vulnerability and endure. The dream abruptly ended. Ishwa found himself seated with Shuden, Anastasia, and Naga, facing an awkward gathering together silently. Heavy tension surrounded the group. Ishwa realized their hostility remained strong, while everyone silently remembered previous attacks and betrayals. Xiudane assigned Ishua a strict punishment. Bound tightly, the demon could only eat during meals and remain restrained otherwise. Ishua listened to the explanation in disbelief. Xiudane warned that surviving on the island mattered more than comfort or pride. Discussing future plans, Xiudane decided Ishua required constant supervision. He intended to keep the magic sword nearby and watch carefully. Observing Ishua's expression, Xiudane recognized complete submission. The look reminded him of troublesome fighters whose resistance had already collapsed. Drawing from military experience, Xiudane concluded strict discipline worked best. He compared Ishua's behavior to recruits responding better under firm authority. Xiudane proposed investigating Melia and Ishua's former base. Anastasia also wanted to continue mapping the island and gathering information. Ishua noted Anastasia's unusual silence. The elf remained withdrawn, still affected by recent events and lingering frustrations within the group. Xiudane explained their enemies had nearly killed them. Anastasia listened quietly, while Melia accepted that trust remained difficult presently. Anastasia stubbornly rejected her feelings internally. She repeatedly denied any romantic interest, refusing to acknowledge emotions directed toward Xiudane. Questioned about her condition, Anastasia quickly redirected attention. She emphasized her military responsibilities, insisting warfare mattered far more currently. Anastasia stared suspiciously while Xiudane appeared concerned. Noticing his poor appetite, another companion questioned whether he felt unwell. Naga remained unusually quiet and withdrawn. Anastasia quickly volunteered to investigate first, leaving Xiudane uncertain about everyone's behavior. Xiudane sat in confusion beside Ishua, watching the others act strangely. He struggled to understand the awkward atmosphere forming. Each person silently judged Xiudane for different reasons. Their private complaints revealed irritation, misunderstandings, and growing dissatisfaction toward him. Ishua observed the tension spreading between everyone. Realizing conflict was brewing, he wondered whether the group was starting quarrels. Ishua felt encouraged by his counterpart's efforts and resolved to help as well. He noticed unexpected cooperation, wondering whether Melia's relationship plan was succeeding. Determined despite his fears, Ishua promised to try his best. He asked Melia to watch over him, leaving Xiudane puzzled. Xiudane asked about an old suitcase while examined scattered belongings, realizing Melia had used the container for shelter. Naga excitedly inspected a snack wrapper with lingering fragrance, while Xiudane compared the packaging against familiar modern products and quietly considered its origin. Reading the label, Xiudane discovered an expiration date far ahead, suggesting the preserved snack belonged to a different era than their circumstances, demonstrating a lighter from the suitcase. Xiudane produced fire instantly, leaving Anastasia amazed by the effortless method. Xiudane reflected that easier tools saved precious effort, though traditional techniques remained useful when resources eventually disappeared. Xiudane agreed with Anastasia's view, then checked the suitcase contents and discovered useful hygiene supplies, making the group appreciate their fortune. Examining another package, Xiudane realized it contained a woman's swimsuit, believing such items would greatly improve cleanliness and comfort. Anastasia tried wearing the damaged garment, misunderstanding its purpose, while Xiudane awkwardly explained the missing section made it unusable. Searching further, Xiudane noticed a strange strip inside another package, while Anastasia curiously inspected it without understanding its purpose. Before confusion spread further, Ishua listened, as Xiudane quickly clarified the mysterious item was simply food for consumption. Ishua compared the packaged item with Melia's description, concluding the scent and appearance matched sweets she had discovered previously. Recalling Melia's behavior, Ishua suspected she had eaten one sample, then concealed her mistake because embarrassment outweighed admitting confusion. Xiudane's shocked question stunned Ishua completely, as he misunderstood the situation and assumed an extremely unpleasant possibility regarding Melia. Anastasia interrupted the misunderstanding, while Xiudane firmly explained the item was not food, leaving everyone focused on its purpose. Xiudane carefully described the product's actual function, explaining it prevented pregnancy and disease. While the others absorbed unfamiliar knowledge, Naga reacted fiercely to Xiudane's explanation, while Anastasia repeated the unfamiliar concept and Ishua calmly noted possible future concerns. Xiudane clarified the item remained useful despite age, but Naga aggressively demanded its removal, refusing any misunderstanding about intentions. Attempting reassurance, Xiudane explained preparations for coming days, causing Ishua to question whether his attention centered. Xiudane bluntly compared Ishua's misunderstanding to ignoring obvious evidence, leaving him deeply embarrassed while concluding he lacked sensitivity. Carrying the suitcase onward, the group resumed exploration together, while Xiudane chatted casually and Anastasia listened with growing curiosity. While exploring the island's interior, Xiudane examined fallen vegetation closely, then suddenly recognized something important hidden among the dense growth. Following his discovery, he entered a towering grove and immediately identified bamboo, realizing the resource could transform their plans. He explained bamboo would greatly simplify construction efforts, providing suitable materials for crafting the boat he had envisioned. Encouraged by the location, Shuden proposed relocating their base nearby, believing the area offered advantages for building efficiently. Without wasting time, he tested the bamboo immediately, striking a stalk and confirming it could be harvested effectively. Shuden tested the recovered magic sword against bamboo, while Asura complained its former owner lacked strength, worthy of wielding it. Interested by Shuden's success, Naga eagerly requested a turn with the weapon, hoping personal experience would ease growing frustration. Watching Ishwa struggle, Shuden realized physical strength mattered greatly, making him secretly grateful his training provided useful advantages. Anastasia and Ishwa acknowledged Shuden's impressive physique, while he studied the coastline, identifying a better location for transportation. Shuden proposed assembling the boat near the beach, then assigned bamboo transport duties while keeping harvesting responsibilities for himself. Ishwa organized the work assignments confidently, while Shuden approved the arrangement because it allowed supervision of Ishwa during bamboo cutting. Determined to restore his reputation, Ishwa attempted carrying bamboo proudly, yet immediately stumbled forward and crashed onto the pile. Struggling on the ground, Ishwa realized ordinary labor exhausted his quickly, revealing how much he depended upon magical power. Seeing his difficulty, Shuden sternly ordered Ishwa to carry smaller loads first, insisting reckless effort would only worsen matters. Continuing his task carefully, Ishwa transported a single bamboo pole and eventually reached Anastasia, who quietly observed his progress. Anastasia handed Ishwa a bamboo pole, provoking suspicion and irritation, while he interpreted the gesture as deliberate hostility instead. Naga finally returned carrying materials effortlessly, startling Ishwa, who immediately questioned why everyone had remained waiting so long. Boasting confidently, Naga grabbed multiple bamboo poles and headed onward alone, leaving Ishwa shocked by the overwhelming difference. Completely confused, Ishwa rushed towards Shuden, seeking answers, while he angrily demanded to know why Ishwa disappeared earlier. During dinner, Shuden praised everyone's efforts, whereas Ishwa sat exhausted, realizing physical labor had pushed his beyond limits. While resting after work, Shuden prepared another meal enthusiastically, though Naga complained about smoked meat, despite continuing discussions eagerly. Using gathered ingredients, Shuden cooked wild boar meat with leeks and seasoning, proudly presenting the finished dish to everyone. The meal exceeded expectations completely, leaving Naga delighted by the taste while Anastasia and Ishwa admired Shuden's resourcefulness. Recognizing Ishwa's efforts during labor, Shuden offered him a portion, acknowledging his contribution despite modest results from work. Accepting the food quietly, Ishwa followed Shuden's advice to recover strength, preparing himself for demanding tasks awaiting everyone. Ishwa finally relaxed during dinner, enjoying Shuden's cooking and feeling relieved after exhausting work, while appreciating a rare peaceful moment. His satisfaction vanished when insects appeared inside the meal, and Shuden immediately noticed his reaction while wondering about the cause. Believing Ishwa shared Malia's adventurous tastes, Shuden enthusiastically offered bamboo worms, unaware she strongly disliked eating insects entirely. Unable to refuse the generous offer, Ishwa forced himself to accept the worm, suspecting Shuden still resented past conflicts. Shuden explained the insects tasted surprisingly good when prepared properly, encouraging Naga repeatedly while proudly presenting his gathered supply. As Shuden described their nutritional value, Ishwa suffered through every bite, desperately seeking sympathy while the others watched quietly. Melia greeted Ishwa inside the dream cabin again. She sat calmly on the bed, expecting another discussion regarding their situation. Without warning, Ishwa rushed forward in panic. His shocked reaction suggested something unexpected had disrupted the dream's normal flow. Ishwa appeared overwhelmed and distressed, insisting he could not endure the situation further. Concerned, Melia immediately questioned what had happened. A strange sphere manifested between them. Melia examined it closely, while noting Ishwa remained unusually calm despite the bizarre phenomenon. Realizing memories shaped dream appearances imperfectly, Melia concluded the recreation differed from reality. She decided to use Ishwa's recollections instead. Shuden suddenly demanded an explanation regarding the mysterious object. His intense expression shocked Melia, leaving her completely confused and speechless. Trying to understand, Melia questioned him repeatedly. Once Shuden mentioned finding it after defeat, her confusion rapidly increased further. Learning the item originated from ingredients inside unusual cookies, Melia warned against eating them carelessly. Then she heard an unfamiliar term, After receiving an explanation, Melia concluded it was an attachment related to male anatomy. Curiosity replaced confusion as she examined. Xiudan compared the object to bamboo. Melia wondered what strange discovery might emerge next, while others wished to end discussion. While discussing escape from the island, Melia glanced toward Xiudan. His physical condition caught her attention, prompting unexpected admiration immediately. Melia openly praised Xiudan's muscular physique. Her thoughts focused entirely on his strength, revealing fascination she struggled to conceal. Observing Melia's reaction, Ishwa questioned her motives. The suspicious tone highlighted how unusual her enthusiasm suddenly appeared. Embarrassed, Melia quickly defended herself. She insisted her interest came from wanting a stronger body, not personal attraction whatsoever. The discussion collapsed into chaos when a container revealed countless worms. Xiudan stared in horror while everyone reacted with shock. Ishwa admitted he struggled with human interaction. Isolated within hostile surroundings, his confidence weakened as frustration over her situation grew. Melia listened carefully while Ishwa complained. She suggested simple defeat would be easier, revealing Ishwa had reached exhaustion. The discussion turned serious. Melia acknowledged that without earning trust, their mission would fail, and every effort become meaningless. Determined to improve, Ishwa promised greater effort. Strange noises interrupted her declaration, drawing attention and creating sudden confusion nearby. The dream abruptly collapsed as Xiudan shouted for Ishwa to awaken. Half asleep, he protested while he desperately forced consciousness. The group gathered bamboo across the island. Ishwa carried materials alongside others. While Xiudan supervised the collection effort carefully, their work progressed smoothly. Xiudan praised everyone's contribution, then revealed plans to begin constructing a boat using gathered resources. Explaining his idea, he described a simple bamboo raft inspired by survival programs, believing it offered their safest option. Questions quickly followed. Concerns about swimming, dangerous sea creatures, and transportation capacity forced Xiudan to clarify important details further. Anastasia proposed reaching open water before boarding. Her suggestion surprised Xiudan, who wondered how everyone would avoid falling. Anastasia worried about those unable to swim. Xiudan suggested clinging to the raft, then checked who possessed swimming ability. The responses disappointed him immediately. Ishua and Anastasia admitted their limitations, confirming the group lacked enough capable swimmers entirely. Xiudan stressed swimming remained essential for survival. Even limited ability could prove valuable during emergencies or unexpected ocean accidents. Taking his advice seriously, Ishwa suddenly began removing clothing. His unexpected action startled Xiudan, who demanded an explanation instantly. Ishwa calmly explained he discarded unnecessary garments for swimming practice. Amused by Xiudan's reaction, he blamed his expression instead. Ishwa noticed Xiudan staring unexpectedly. Embarrassment spread across his face, while Xiudan remained distracted by unfamiliar changes in appearance. Questioned by the others, Xiudan explained he had recreated Ishua's swimsuit from memory, because he lacked suitable swimming clothes. Anastasia appeared wearing a swimsuit as well. Shocked by its revealing design, she complained loudly while everyone examined it. Ignoring the argument, Xiudan focused on training. He explained that understanding each person's swimming ability remained the highest priority. Anastasia admitted complete inexperience with swimming. Accustomed to relying on magic, she revealed crossing water had never required practice. Ishua admitted he barely remembered ordinary swimming. Past journeys relied on overwhelming power, leaving genuine water experience surprisingly limited. Naga confidently claimed swimming came naturally. Meanwhile, Xiudan instructed Ishua and Anastasia to begin with simple breathing exercises underwater. Xiudan started a brief test, expecting them to remain submerged for several seconds before returning safely to the surface. The exercise failed immediately. Anastasia and Ashua surfaced coughing, complaining about seawater entering their eyes, ears, and mouths painfully. Watching their struggles, Xiudan realized training would require much greater effort. Naga floated comfortably while the others continued learning. Xiudan explained that comfort in water mattered before swimming lessons. He warned Anastasia that panic could become extremely dangerous. Ishwa struggled with breathing and endurance. Accustomed to relying on magic, he found ordinary swimming far more exhausting than expected. Determined to improve, Ishwa studied Naga's movements closely. He hoped careful observation would help him understand proper swimming techniques. Attempting to imitate Naga immediately failed. The Dragon King sped through the water effortlessly, leaving Ishwa unable to follow. While concentrating on diving practice, Ishwa drifted farther from shore. Realizing his position, he tried remaining calm and focused. While practicing alone, Ishua walked toward shore beneath the water. Suddenly, the seafloor vanished beneath his feet, leaving panic growing rapidly. Unable to touch the bottom anymore, Ishua lost control and sank deeper. He reached desperately upward, realizing genuine danger surrounded him. Ashua slept peacefully until a child suddenly noticed the soaked bedding, confused by the loud accusation. He remained buried beneath blankets silently. Malia pointed at him mischievously, while Ashua jolted upright. Realization struck instantly, leaving him embarrassed and flustered. She rushed across the room, loudly reporting Ishua's accident. Ishua tried stopping her, but movement outside attracted attention instead. The door creaked open, revealing 3 frightening figures standing together. Their shadowed faces and stiff expressions immediately terrified everyone present. Fear overwhelmed Malia as she recoiled desperately. Mistaking the visitors for monsters, she shouted warnings while trembling. Ishua screamed as Shuden and the others suddenly grabbed him. Their rough reaction sent bodies tumbling together, turning panic into chaos. The frightened Ashua cried for Malia and their mother. Confusion filled the room while everyone struggled to understand the situation. Shuden noticed Ashua lying beneath him unexpectedly. Sweat covered their faces as realization struck, leaving both frozen in shock. Ishua regained consciousness and struggled to understand events. Violent coughing followed, forcing him upright while memories remained unclear. Anastasia and Naga stared silently at the scene before them. Both looked stunned, watching the awkward misunderstanding unfold completely. Anastasia blushed while explaining Shuden's mouth contact. She clarified it was emergency treatment meant to restore Ashua's breathing and consciousness. The explanation revealed Shuden's actions followed practical rescue methods rather than anything improper or strange. Shuden carried Ishua carefully while the group prepared to rest. He decided exploration should pause and focused on treating Ishua's remaining injuries. First, Anastasia watched Shuden from a distance and felt uneasy. A strange ache lingered within her chest, leaving her confused about its source entirely. Anastasia reminded herself Shuden only provided life-saving assistance. Even so, she struggled to dismiss her feelings. Anastasia imagining herself kiss with Shuden, the images resurfaced vividly, and embarrassment lingered as she struggled to ignore it. Naga noticed Anastasia's unusual mood and remained silent. Meanwhile, Ishua stirred restlessly, showing signs that his condition was improving. Shuden checked Ishua carefully and searched for injuries. Ishua answered weakly while enduring pain, proving he had not recovered fully. Shuden examined Ishua's wounded foot despite complaints. The treatment hurt greatly, causing Ishua to shout and recoil instinctively. Ishua recalled falling into water during panic. His memories remained fragmented, though he finally remembered drowning before losing consciousness. Ishua suddenly remembered Shuden's life-saving rescue. Realizing their lips had touched, he froze completely while embarrassment overwhelmed his thoughts. Shuden explained the rescue calmly and credited Anastasia. First he reminded Ishua that everyone worked together to save him. Anastasia described discovering Ishua drowning and alerting Shuden immediately. Naga then carried him ashore, allowing rescue efforts without delay. Confused, Ishua questioned why Shuden helped him despite previous conflict. Shuden listened quietly while waiting for his response carefully. Naga explained survival depended upon cooperation among everyone present. She dismissed hostility, though acknowledged that personal grudges could still remain. Shuden stated that cooperation changed everything between them. He insisted past grudges should remain buried while their shared struggle continued. He raised an important question once more. The recent incident proved everyone depended upon each other for survival and success. Looking directly at Ishua, Shuden asked for honesty. He wanted confirmation that Ishua truly intended to stand alongside them. Shuden explained his goal clearly and sincerely. He sought cooperation from everyone and requested that Ishua avoid betrayal completely. He promised to fulfill his responsibility as an adult. He vowed to help Ashua escape the island regardless of difficulties. Ashua finally accepted Shuden's sincerity and agreed to cooperate. Relieved by the answer, Shuden felt their relationship improve greatly. Shuden enthusiastically embraced Ashua after hearing his response. The sudden excitement overwhelmed Ashua, whose weakened condition caused him to collapse. While Ishua recovered, Shuden prepared a meal outside. He placed bamboo over the fire, drawing curious attention from others. He explained his bamboo cooking experiment confidently. The hollow stalk could serve as cookware while adding flavor to ingredients. The bamboo meal finished cooking successfully over the fire. Anastasia showed interest immediately, while Naga demanded stronger flavors instead. Ishua examined the meal curiously and asked about its contents. Shuden explained it was stew prepared from available ingredients. Shuden proudly described gathering wild yams from ruined territory. He recognized familiar ingredients and felt pleased seeing useful resources again. Naga tasted the stew cautiously before reacting strongly. Despite missing ingredients, the flavor impressed her far more than expected. Satisfied with the result, Shuden handed the container onward. He encouraged Ishwa to share the successful meal with everyone. Shuden suddenly announced Ishwa wished to thank everyone personally. The unexpected declaration caught Ishwa completely off guard and speechless. Ishwa panicked when Shuden mentioned expressing gratitude publicly. Anastasia watched silently, while realizing Ishwa seemed completely unprepared for that task. Anastasia encouraged proper manners despite Ishwa's hesitation. She explained that thanking someone sincerely was simply respectful and expected behavior. Ishwa struggled to gather courage and compose himself. Anastasia remained firm, insisting he make greater effort and face everyone. With visible tension, Ishwa finally thanked Anastasia directly. Anastasia answered politely, leaving both momentarily stunned by the exchange. Shuden observed the interaction with satisfaction and requested more progress. Though awkwardness remained, the atmosphere felt slightly less strained. Anastasia tasted the bamboo stew carefully while Shuden watched. The flavor surprised her immediately, and she praised the meal enthusiastically. Curious about Anastasia's reaction, Ishwa sampled the stew himself. He quickly continued eating, showing far greater interest than expected. Naga noticed Ishwa's appetite and challenged him playfully. Refusing defeat, she accepted the unspoken competition and continued eating confidently. The familiar taste stirred old memories within Ishwa. He recalled stew from long ago and wondered whether smoked meat once flavored it. Nostalgia overwhelmed Ishwa, as forgotten experiences resurfaced. The meal reminded him of distant moments that had remained buried deeply. Shiyuden quietly noticed Ishwa's emotional expression without interrupting. Meanwhile, he offered additional servings while everyone continued enjoying the meal. Ishwa slept beside Shuden and others around a dying campfire, yet fragmented memories stirred his mind. In the vision, Milia leaned close and called Ishwa affectionately, making him react instinctively before recognizing the familiar face. Ishwa awoke indoors and faced Milia directly. When she noticed his distraction, he explained he had been recalling past events from earlier days. Milia accepted the answer, then cheerfully asked about his findings. Her teasing attitude left Ishwa embarrassed and visibly tense. Ishwa hesitated. Milia suggested repeating a previous activity. Her remark shocked him, leaving confusion and panic unresolved while he searched for words. Shuden stared ahead with an unusual expression, causing Milia to grow flustered. Ishwa noticed her reaction while she struggled understanding it. Milia and Ishwa followed Shuden's gaze. Realization slowly formed between them, and both froze while examining the awkward situation. Milia carefully pieced together the positions involved. Understanding struck her completely, leaving her speechless as the embarrassing misunderstanding expanded. Horrified by Milia's conclusion, Ishwa rushed to deny her assumptions. Shuden remained caught within the confusion surrounding them all. The misunderstanding finally cleared when Shuden explained himself. Milia panicked over her mistake while Ishwa checked whether he was unharmed. Ishwa explained that Shuden survived because several allies assisted him. Milia listened closely, relieved by the outcome yet remaining thoughtful. Milia eagerly welcomed news about boarding a ship with humans. Ishwa proposed eliminating everyone later, causing her surprise immediately. Ishwa questioned whether escape remained possible without relying completely on others. Milia answered calmly, believing circumstances could still change. Milia argued cooperation was necessary for survival. Ishwa reluctantly listened as she emphasized escaping first before considering any future conflicts. Ishwa accepted her reasoning and examined their situation carefully. He wondered whether victory remained possible once they regained strength. Ishwa reassured Milia that their plans could succeed. Sitting together, they reflected on hardships endured since their mother's passing. A memory surfaced from childhood. Young Ishwa hurried their mother toward the market while Milia listened beside them attentively. Their mother laughed at the concern and reminded them daylight remained. The siblings proudly asked whether their hidden items were safe. Recalling the bustling town, Milia remembered their mother's cheerful approval. Her praise delighted both children as they followed closely. The memory continued at a butcher's stall. Ishwa excitedly requested pork stew while their mother purchased ingredients with amusement. Their mother purchased pork while asking for extra meat. The butcher instructed Connie carefully, trusting him to handle tasks. Connie helped around the shop and shared the packaged meat. Ishwa and Milia happily accepted it while planning games. The butcher explained that Connie was nearing adulthood proudly. He focused on teaching responsibilities and practical skills. Watching the children together, their mother remarked that Ishwa and Melia remained energetic, despite years passing since relocation. Conversation turned serious as their mother revealed the siblings were refugees. Difficult living conditions and poor nutrition affected growth. Their mother shared hopeful news that the demon lord had fallen. She encouraged the family to settle peacefully within town. The memory shifted beside a wagon camp. Ashua questioned another move, recalling promises that their stay would last. Their mother explained relocation was unavoidable because they were demons. Melia accepted it, though she quietly liked the village. Melia claimed she understood their mother's intentions already. Her blunt observation shocked Ishwa, who had completely missed the truth. Remembering childhood games, Melia recalled choosing the demon role. Other children teased her endlessly, turning the moment memorable. Melia worried demons might become frightening monsters. Their mother immediately rejected the fear, refusing to let such doubts define them. Their mother comforted the siblings warmly, explaining she never regretted raising demon children and cherished them no differently. Curious about their father, Ishua pressed for answers. Their mother admitted she knew almost nothing about his identity. She revealed a strange encounter 15 years earlier. Amid widespread despair, an incubus appeared within a dream and seduced her. Their mother explained she became pregnant and fled home alone. Embarrassed, she admitted remembering only his remarkable appearance. Their mother firmly instructed Ishwa and Melia to conceal their demon heritage. The siblings listened carefully, understanding the danger involved. Melia promised to protect the secret despite her clumsy nature. Their mother smiled, though concern lingered beneath reassurance. Sitting together beside the wagon, the family embraced warmly. They believed their bond would endure regardless of hardships ahead. The memory shifted through peaceful years. Their mother worked diligently while guiding the siblings through ordinary moments and stability. Ishwa and Melia remembered traveling, learning, and growing together. Their mother remained a constant source of support and comfort. Ishwa and Melia returned home carrying groceries. Expecting a normal evening, they called for their mother without receiving any response. Entering the room, the siblings found their mother resting motionless. Concern replaced excitement as they approached her bed cautiously. Their unanswered calls revealed a painful truth. The memory shifted toward a grave, where mourning quietly consumed the family. Neighbors offered comfort and practical support during the funeral. Melia thanked them politely, while Ishwa remained struggling with overwhelming grief. Learning their mother died peacefully at 75 brought little relief. The loss deepened their loneliness within an indifferent world. While visiting the village market, Ishwa and Melia encountered Connie, unexpectedly. Recognition spread quickly as old memories resurfaced immediately. Connie identified the siblings and questioned their unchanged appearance. His observation exposed a secret they carefully concealed for years. Caught off guard, Melia dismissed Connie's suspicion as nonsense. She hurried Ishwa away before further questions created trouble. Back home, the siblings discussed their situation seriously. Connie's discovery threatened the peaceful life they maintained there. Remembering their mother's grave nearby, Melia reached a painful conclusion. She urged Ishwa to leave the village permanently. Ishwa reflected on their promise to keep moving and hide their identities. He wondered whether peaceful settlement would ever become possible. A violent crash shattered the discussion. Before either sibling could react, attackers burst inside and knocked them down instantly. Armed soldiers surrounded the house and announced reports about a suspicious man and woman. Their investigation quickly focused on the siblings. Captured and restrained, Ishwa and Melia faced panic and uncertainty. Authorities ordered their identities verified, sealing their grim fate. Officials confirmed the captured twins matched reports from villagers. Their leader immediately recognized them as valuable targets worth investigating further. Bound publicly, Ashwa and Melia endured relentless punishment. Investigators concluded the siblings possessed strength far exceeding ordinary demons. Researchers viewed the twins as rare opportunities. They planned experiments, hoping to develop powerful military magic through studying them. Exhausted and injured, Ishwa broke down emotionally, longing for home and his mother as Melia observed his struggled against despair completely. Unmoved by their suffering, the researchers dismissed compassion. They ordered additional spells prepared, treating the twins as mere subjects. Melia endured the attacks and mocked their captor's strength. Her defiance surprised everyone, drawing attention away from Ishwa completely. A sudden dark strike erupted through the chamber. The assault shattered the researchers' confidence and threw the facility into chaos. Hidden operatives revealed themselves and assessed the situation. Their investigation uncovered an unexpected discovery surrounding the imprisoned twins. Injured and frightened, Ishwa and Melia clung together. Observers examined them closely, reaching a decisive conclusion about identities. A mysterious figure confronted the siblings directly, recognizing their lineage. He declared them Demon Lord Varnark's children without doubt. The mysterious rescuer urged Ishwa and Milia to return to the demon world. His words challenged everything they believed. Remembering their mother's grave, the siblings accepted a painful truth. They finally acknowledged they were demons, not humans. Escorted into a grand hall, Ishwa and Milia faced powerful figures. Their arrival attracted attention from every gathered demon. Fenrir presented the twins before the ruler. She declared them heirs carrying the previous demon lord's bloodline and destiny. Many demons doubted the claim and questioned their heritage. Debate spread rapidly while Ishwa and Milia endured scrutiny silently. Doubts spread through the court regarding the twins' heritage. A challenge emerged, demanding proof they possessed the demon lord's power. The ruler accepted the proposal and established harsh consequences. Success promised status, while failure meant death for them. Ishwa and Milia were brought before a legendary sword. Countless demons watched closely as the decisive trial began. Milia stepped forward first and grasped the weapon firmly. Ignoring fear, she committed herself despite uncertain consequences ahead. Observing quietly, the ruler dismissed assumptions about bloodline inheritance. She believed true demon lords emerged through strength alone. Fenrir realized political factions were exploiting the twins. She worried ambitious demons viewed them as tools for power. Opposition leaders demanded immediate execution when the sword remained unmoved. They mocked the twins and sought to crush hope. Refusing surrender, Milia seized the sword herself. She attacked a stone guardian fiercely and ordered Ishwa away. Milia shattered the massive construct with overwhelming force. The crowd erupted instantly, believing a new demon lord appeared. Excited by the achievement, Milia proclaimed Ishwa the future demon lord. She turned quickly, checking whether he remained safe. The gathered demons accepted Ishwa as their future ruler. Milia watched quietly while expectations and responsibilities suddenly surrounded them both. Ishwa rejected the celebration and struggled with his new identity. He insisted they had lived differently and questioned their future moments later. Milia arrived carrying news from distant battlefields. She revealed growing conflict and hinted that enemies were already moving, displaying blood on her hand. Milia explained an assassin had attacked. She remained calm and treated the incident lightly. Assessing their weakened forces, Milia proposed a bold strategy. She suggested infiltrating enemy ranks and striking unexpectedly together. Ishwa admitted their position was worsening. Supporters were abandoning their cause, leaving their faction increasingly isolated and vulnerable to rivals. Milia explained that loyal followers had protected them for years. Without success soon, stronger enemies would move against them. She encouraged Ishwa, despite the danger. She believed his destiny remained unchanged and trusted he could reverse everything. The siblings discussed their final opportunity. Eliminating a major threat during the coming conflict could restore their declining influence. Their conversation suddenly stopped. A strange noise echoed through the area, causing Ishwa to react immediately with concern. While bound among the trees, Ishwa noticed the restraints had loosened. The unexpected change immediately caught his attention and concern. Looking around carefully, he discovered the magical sword lying beside an unconscious man. A risky opportunity suddenly appeared before him. Memories of promises and predictions crossed his mind. Determination returned as he reached toward the weapon, despite uncertainty. Ishwa quietly turned away and gripped the sword. He concealed her intentions, preparing to act before anyone noticed. Beside him, Shiyuden remained unconscious nearby. Holding the weapon tightly, Ishwa silently considered his next move and possible escape. Shiyuden sat alone, studying recent events while gripping a pipe. His expression stayed serious. Ishwa approached quietly and noticed Shiyuden's condition. Embarrassment covered the demon's face as hesitation grew before making contact. Placing a hand on Shiyuden, Ishwa examined him carefully. Shiyuden responded calmly, believing his physical state remained stable and showed little concern outwardly. Ishwa concluded the condition had passed and advised better hydration. Shiyuden accepted the assessment without argument or resistance, offering only brief acknowledgement quietly. As Shiyuden walked away, Ishwa's composure collapsed completely. Overwhelmed by humiliation, the demon silently wished for death instead, while tears gathered behind eyes. Shiyuden gathered everyone at the shoreline and entered the water. The group prepared for training, following his guidance across the calm sea. Ishwa and Anastasia pushed themselves underwater and struggled intensely. Their movements became frantic as they exhausted. Both collapsed onto the sand, breathing heavily from exertion. Shiyuden watched quietly before returning attention toward another practical task awaiting completion. Using his sword, Shiyuden cut bamboo into usable sections. He focused on efficiency, turning valuable materials into resources for construction work. Naga sat silently while observing the preparation efforts. Shuden called her name and requested bamboo poles, drawing her attention immediately. Naga remained distracted while standing beside Shuden's work area. He noticed her unusual behavior and quietly wondered about the cause. Anastasia returned from training exhausted and drenched with sweat. Shuden glanced back, noticing her condition as she approached slowly. Shuden praised Anastasia's effort and encouraged proper hydration. Despite practicing diligently, she worried because her progress seemed frustratingly limited. Wanting to help further, Shuden demonstrated hand movements used for floating. Anastasia watched closely, trying to understand each instruction correctly. Shuden moved beside Anastasia and carefully adjusted her posture. Following his guidance, she concentrated fully on learning the technique. Anastasia quickly grasped Shuden's swimming instructions and thanked him enthusiastically. Shuden praised her talent, impressed by how rapidly she learned. Shuden noticed movement across the water and turned curiously. Ishua swam forward with determination, pushing through waves toward him. Reaching him, Ishua called out loudly and surfaced awkwardly. Water splashed everywhere while Shuden struggled to understand the sudden interruption. Shuden grabbed Ishua and corrected his swimming technique immediately. Expecting criticism, Ishua became nervous while listening to every word. He continued teasing Ishua about his poor form. A playful slap followed, leaving the demon confused while processing the unexpected remark. Shuden praised Ishua's improvement and patted his head warmly. Ishua froze in surprise, quietly accepting recognition for genuine progress. Anastasia watched the interaction from a distance. Seeing the praise, she concluded swimming skill earned approval and attention from Shuden. Motivated by that thought, Anastasia rushed forward with determination. Naga observed silently while the elf declared renewed commitment toward training. As evening settled across the island, everyone gathered around camp. Anastasia practiced diligently while Naga rested beside the fading fire. Shuden inspected the bamboo structure and reviewed construction progress. Satisfied with the results, he estimated their raft would finish soon. Naga approached Shuden while he reviewed the completed raft. He spoke optimistically about leaving the island. Unaware of her mood, she asked whether he needed something from her. Her sudden appearance surprised Shuden, who reacted before answering the unexpected question. Without warning, Naga launched a fierce attack toward Shuden. He recoiled in shock, unable to understand her abrupt aggression. She continued, charging forward with intense determination. Shuden questioned her behavior repeatedly, but she showed no sign of stopping. Another powerful strike crashed into Shuden's guard. Realizing her strength had changed dramatically, he braced himself against the heavy force. Naga's relentless assault forced Shuden onto the defensive. Realizing her transformed state was dangerous, he searched urgently for weakness. A brief opening appeared during their clash. Shuden reacted immediately, attempting a counterattack before Naga could regain momentum again. Naga seized Shuden's clothing and reversed the situation instantly. The unexpected maneuver slammed him down, completely disrupting his plan. Lying stunned, Shuden struggled to understand what happened. Naga had somehow executed an advanced technique far beyond expectations. Naga pressed the attack without hesitation and struck again. Shocked by her adaptation, Shuden wondered how she read through everything. Naga forced Shuden underwater and pinned him down firmly. Struggling for breath, he coughed violently while trying to understand her actions. Leaning closer, she stared down at Shuden with unusual intensity. Her expression remained serious as water dripped from her body. Naga suddenly pressed her mouth against Shuden's and shared air. The unexpected kiss shocked both of them during the struggle. Shuden realized Naga was helping him breathe underwater. Confused and embarrassed, he questioned her intentions while she quickly pulled back. Naga stood silently with a stubborn expression and avoided explanation. Moisture covered her face as she struggled to compose herself. Naga admitted strange thoughts had consumed her mind since witnessing artificial respiration. Curious confusion drove her to test the idea personally. Misunderstanding the concept completely, she suggested recreating the situation herself. Her blunt reasoning left Shuden stunned and deeply concerned. Shuden immediately rejected the absurd logic and scolded her harshly. Reflecting carefully, he realized Naga's behavior carried serious risks. Reviewing their earlier fight, Shuden recognized Naga's dangerous growth. Her obsession distracted her greatly, yet she still defeated him. He concluded he needed stronger physical conditioning immediately. Losing another match against Naga could create consequences he preferred. Determined to grow stronger, Shuden trained intensely. As he exercising alone, he suddenly heard something from the bushes. Anastasia wandered through the darkness carrying lingering embarrassment. Thoughts of the earlier incident remained unresolved, leaving her uneasy. She noticed their kiss earlier and became concerned. With teary eyes, she clutched her chest, uneasy because the jealously. Anastasia brushed her teeth while dark circles showed beneath her eyes. Memories of Shiuden and Naga's kiss lingered, leaving her distracted and restless. Shiuden noticed her exhausted appearance and asked about her sleep. Anastasia avoided explaining her feelings, greeting him briefly while hiding discomfort. Anastasia quickly walked away, refusing further discussion. Shiuden watched her confusion, unaware she remained bothered by witnessing intimate contact earlier. The group gathered around Naga, who operated a powerful electric saw. She focused intensely, cutting bamboo while everyone observed. Shiuden praised Naga's strength and skill with the machine. Anastasia listened quietly, still troubled. While Naga continued working, Shiuden directed Anastasia and Ishwa, while assembling bamboo logs. Working together in shallow water, they secured sections tightly with rope. The raft gradually took shape under Shiuden's guidance. Naga carried materials from shore while Anastasia and Ishwa helped fasten bindings. Seeing their progress, Shiuden decided training mattered equally. He paused construction and announced swimming practice before continuing remaining work. The group examined the completed framework along the shore. Multiple bamboo sections floated steadily, proving their efforts were producing results. Anastasia stared at the raft with concern. Although construction advanced quickly, she feared her poor swimming skills might delay departure. Anastasia struggled during swimming practice, despite standing in shallow water. Frustration grew as simple floating felt unexpectedly difficult for her. While Shiuden examined the raft thoughtfully, Anastasia hesitated nearby. She considered asking something important but lacked courage to begin. Anastasia watched Shiuden's serious expression and misunderstood his focus. Believing escape mattered greatly to him. She became increasingly uneasy. Shiuden remained absorbed in thought, studying the raft carefully. Instead of strategy, however, he concentrated entirely on choosing its name. Anastasia's assumptions shattered when Shiuden spoke. Before she could react further, another voice called for Shiuden's attention. Ishwa discovered a swimming method by instinct, keeping his head above water through rapid movements. Shiuden recognized the technique immediately. Shiuden praised Ishwa's progress during practice. Their conversation shifted into playful teasing when Ishwa addressed him simply as human. Annoyed by the remark, Ishwa warned Shiuden against repeating it. Shiuden instead suggested a proper title between teacher and student. Shiuden explained that students should respectfully call their instructor sensei. Ishwa hesitated briefly, considering the unfamiliar term before responding. Ishwa quietly called Shiuden teacher at last. Hearing it, Shiuden reacted with amusement, finding the situation strangely familiar and satisfying. Shiuden observed Ishwa that similar to his students in Japan. While Ishwa remained quiet, confused why Shiuden stared at him deeply, Shiuden casually patted Ishwa's head during conversation. Watching from a distance, Anastasia observed silently while keeping her thoughts hidden. Swimming practice continued without success for Anastasia. Seeing everyone improve steadily, she blamed herself and feared becoming a burden. Anastasia imagined the others departing together without her. The possibility filled her with anxiety as doubts continued growing stronger. Disturbing thoughts crowded her mind. She pictured being left behind completely, causing panic as uncertainty overwhelmed her confidence. Anastasia pushed herself relentlessly during swimming practice, diving repeatedly. She refused accepting her current limitations and weaknesses alone. Shiuden gently held Anastasia's shoulder, catching her attention before exhaustion worsened. His concern surprised her, leaving doubts momentarily pushed aside by reassurance. Shiuden advised Anastasia to stop forcing herself and rest. Hearing his words, she quietly called him Master Shiuden, revealing trust she rarely expressed. Rather than continue, Shiuden suggested easier tasks and a different meal. Anastasia learned he had noticed her effort throughout 2 exhausting hours. Shiuden supported Anastasia in the water, teaching proper floating posture. Nervous yet willing, she followed instructions carefully. Anastasia struggled to stay balanced while floating. Following Shiuden's guidance, she moved carefully. Though embarrassment and tension still affected her concentration, Shiuden directed her attention toward the sky above. Both paused training briefly, gazing quietly at the moon and countless stars. Their conversation shifted from training to personal experiences. Anastasia explained that flying high prevented her from appreciating scenery below. Remembering her past, Anastasia admitted magic had mainly served battle. Constant responsibilities left little opportunity to calmly enjoy peaceful sights. Despite Shiuden encouraging relaxation, Anastasia refused easing her efforts. She remained determined to finish training and avoid delaying everyone. Anastasia insisted on improving quickly, despite difficulties. Shuden suggested alternatives, explaining that failing one method did not mean failure overall. Shuden encouraged her not to criticize herself excessively. His words eased her worries, helping her reconsider her struggle more calmly. He revealed she already understood floating better than expected. Releasing support briefly, he showed that she was succeeding independently. Anastasia celebrated too early and resumed unnecessary movements. Shuden explained those actions disrupted balance, making floating much harder than necessary. Following Shuden's advice, she relaxed her body properly. With newfound understanding, she prepared to practice floating using correct technique. Anastasia followed Shuden's instructions and relaxed properly. Gradually, her body stayed afloat, allowing her to experience successful floating independently. Overjoyed by her achievement, she proudly informed Shuden. Her excitement lasted briefly before an incoming wave struck unexpectedly from behind. The sudden impact pushed Anastasia toward Shuden. He caught her securely, preventing panic while she remained pressed against him. Held within Shuden's arms, Anastasia became flustered. His concern confirmed her feelings, matching suspicions she had quietly carried already. While walking back, she recalled Shuden and Naga meeting privately before. Comparing memories carefully, she began questioning their relationship again. Anastasia reflected on Naga and Shuden's earlier kiss. Although jealousy lingered, she reminded herself their relationship was not her concern. Gathering courage beneath the moonlit sky, Anastasia stopped Shuden before leaving. Her emotions overflowed, and she finally prepared to reveal something important. Anastasia nervously approached Shuden and tried expressing her feelings. Embarrassment overwhelmed her, causing repeated stuttering before completing any thought. Gathering courage, Anastasia finally praised Shuden's reliability. Shuden listened carefully, believing she wanted to discuss something much more important. Shuden attempted a response, but struggled finding words. Anastasia watched anxiously, hoping her intended meaning had reached him correctly. Misunderstanding completely, Shuden concluded Anastasia wanted him chosen as captain. His confident answer immediately left Anastasia confused and speechless. Shuden enthusiastically accepted what he believed was support. Anastasia could only stare in disbelief as the conversation derailed entirely. Anastasia gathered courage once more and tried speaking seriously. Overwhelming embarrassment interrupted her again, forcing another hesitant pause instead. Unable to explain herself, she postponed the discussion. She promised to reveal everything once they successfully reached their destination together. Shuden accepted her request without pressing further. Anastasia felt relieved, though her feelings remained unresolved and difficult to express. Looking toward the distant island, Anastasia strengthened her determination. She believed reaching that shore would finally clarify her emotions. The conversation ended, and attention returned to preparations. Shuden inspected the raft carefully, while Anastasia watched beside him quietly. The bamboo raft was finally completed. Shuden and the others gathered along the shore, examining the finished vessel with satisfaction. Anastasia noticed Shuden's concerned expression and asked about it. Naga remained confident, believing the raft could cross the ocean safely. Rather than answering immediately, Shuden climbed aboard. He carefully inspected the structure while admiring its appearance and construction. The raft floated properly on the water without sinking. Seeing everyone's work succeed, Shuden felt relieved and deeply impressed. Standing proudly atop the raft, Shuden celebrated its completion. The achievement brought him excitement while Naga watched from other side. The group tested the completed raft together. While everyone discussed its stability, Shuden felt proud seeing their efforts succeed. He explained that oars would be necessary for travel. Naga argued her strength alone could move the raft faster. Hearing differing opinions, Shuden proposed choosing a captain. He emphasized cooperation, believing coordination mattered more than simple speed alone. He asked for nominations from the group. Anastasia immediately recommended him, showing confidence in his judgment and leadership abilities. Naga interpreted the discussion differently and promoted herself instead. Shuden listened carefully as the captain selection debate officially began. Naga confidently declared herself captain without hesitation. Anastasia looked surprised, while the discussion shifted away from Shuden completely. Before Naga could settle the matter, Shuden interrupted. He reacted strongly, drawing everyone's attention toward his unexpected response. Shuden explained that leadership required responsibility beyond strength. A captain must make difficult decisions and guide others through uncertainty. Continuing his explanation, Shuden described carrying burdens alone when necessary. Anastasia listened carefully while reconsidering the meaning of leadership. Shuden concluded that immediate departure was unwise. He decided the group should organize supplies first before beginning their voyage. Shuden continued teaching survival skills on the water. Anastasia and Ishua practiced carefully while learning how to understand ocean conditions. 2 days passed during steady training sessions. Following Shuden's guidance, Anastasia and Ishua successfully climbed aboard the raft independently, satisfied with their improvement. Shuden praised both students. Calm seas and favorable conditions convinced him preparations were nearly complete. The group enjoyed a larger meal than usual before departure. During dinner, Shuden announced an important decision for everyone. Shuden revealed the voyage would begin the following day. The group focused on the distant island waiting across the sea. Naga eagerly imagined returning home and recovering her strength. Anastasia explained that stronger magical phenomena might restore their lost powers. Excitement overtook Naga as she described future plans. She boasted about regaining peak condition once surrounded by abundant mana again. Her enthusiasm escalated into outrageous declarations about raising countless children. Her comments left Shuden completely stunned and speechless momentarily. Embarrassed by the discussion, Anastasia tried dismissing the topic. Naga immediately challenged her, refusing to let the matter pass. The argument intensified between Anastasia and Naga. While Ushua watched quietly, Shiyuden stepped in, attempting to calm everyone down. Shiyuden announced a celebratory meal before departure. He encouraged everyone to eat properly, emphasizing the demanding journey awaiting them. Naga immediately forgot previous arguments and focused on food. Her excitement spread through the group as dinner finally began. Gathered around the fire, the group shared their feast together. The atmosphere became relaxed as preparations neared completion. Everyone enjoyed the meal with genuine satisfaction. Smiles appeared across their faces, replacing tension built during recent preparations. Ishua quietly observed the conversation while eating. Watching the others interact, he seemed more comfortable and accepted within the group. Departure day finally arrived across the island. Ishua and Malia quietly discussed plans while watching the ocean carefully. Malia spoke about uncertainty beyond the sea. They agreed opportunities might appear during the dangerous journey ahead. Shuden greeted Ishua during the morning preparations. Ishua reported favorable weather conditions and suggested the voyage should begin soon. Looking across the water, Ishua reflected on possible future conflicts. He considered remaining behind rather than boarding the raft. Shuden rejected the idea and urged Ishua to join them. Limited resources on the island made staying behind impractical. Shuden stopped Ishua from leaving alone and insisted he travel with everyone first, promising practical survival lessons. Ishua accepted a lighter. Shuden warned that independence required skills, preparation, and reliable resources for long-term survival efforts. Alone with his thoughts, Ishua remembered protecting Maria. He tightened his resolve and silently reaffirmed that objective, despite uncertainty about future events. Anastasia called to Shuden as final supplies were secured aboard the raft. Departure preparations had officially ended, and the voyage could begin. Shuden thanked the island for sheltering them through hardship. The group reflected briefly before pushing forward toward an uncertain journey ahead. The raft launched across open waters carrying everyone together, leaving the deserted island behind. Their long-awaited expedition finally began. Shuden and companions strained against the raft pole. Exhaustion weighed heavily, yet the distant island remained visible ahead across waters. Shuden dropped a packed sack onto the raft and caught his breath. He suggested a short break while assessing their remaining strength carefully. He checked supplies and offered smoked meat and coconut juice. Anastasia listened quietly, as he explained their provisions remained sufficient for the journey. Naga rejected the dry smoked meat, immediately showing clear displeasure. Shuden noted their fish stores remained plentiful, reducing concerns about food reserves ahead. Encouraged by their situation, Shuden grabbed fishing gear and proposed gathering more resources. Anastasia and Naga watched him prepare as the raft continued. Anastasia realized Shuden had steadily expanded the raft's structure. Additional platforms, storage space, and functions increased survival chances. She praised the vessel's development while considering future possibilities. Ishua listened beside Shuden, though his explanation only caused confusion instead. Shiyuden proudly revealed a banner displaying the raft's name. He explained it combined parts of their names into one title. He enthusiastically treated the named raft as a trusted companion. Naga celebrated a successful catch, while Anastasia reacted with awkward silence. Waves rose across the sea as conditions shifted gradually. Anastasia called to Shuden, who remained calm and monitored the wind. Anastasia noticed dark clouds gathered above the destination island. Shuden explained weather patterns could create localized storms. Shuden continued describing how mountains forced damp air upward. Anastasia listened carefully, while understanding the unusual clouds surrounding that region. Believing their arrival was close, Xiu Den encouraged everyone aboard. Suddenly a gigantic shape burst from the sea beside the raft. The enormous creature surged past with tremendous force and spray. Xiuden froze in shock while Anastasia struggled against violent waves. As the disturbance subsided, Xiuden demanded an explanation immediately. Naga recognized the attacker at once and identified it as a sea monster. A massive Kraken Jr. emerged from the sea directly behind them. The creature's sudden appearance confirmed the dangerous source of disturbance. The raft lurched violently as everyone struggled to maintain balance. Xiuden ordered immediate escape while the group paddled. A heavy impact struck the raft from behind without warning. Xiuden crashed down hard and briefly lost control amid chaos. Anastasia and Naga landed across Xiuden while coughing seawater repeatedly. The collision left everyone soaked, shaken, and disoriented aboard. Naga blamed the giant squid for the attack and exploded with anger. Xiuden instantly agreed while she vowed retaliation against it. Naga launched herself toward the Kraken Jr. without hesitation. She closed the distance rapidly and confronted the sea monster directly. Reaching the creature, Naga seized one tentacle firmly and prepared retaliation. The Kraken hesitated briefly as her strength surprised it. Naga tore multiple tentacles apart and angrily demanded submission. Pieces scattered through the water while the monster suffered heavy damage. Naga glared at the wounded creature, expecting victory immediately. Instead, severed tentacles began growing back, revealing an unusual ability. The regenerated limbs restored the Kraken's condition almost instantly. Naga rushed forward again, realizing ordinary attacks would not suffice. The Kraken's tentacles wrapped tightly around Naga and restricted her movements. She struggled fiercely underwater but remained trapped by force. Seeing Naga endangered, Xiuden dove toward the monster immediately. He grabbed a tentacle firmly and attempted freeing her despite danger. He repeatedly stabbed the tentacle with a knife while holding it. The attacks weakened its grip and created an opening. Naga noticed Xiuden, risking himself for her rescue. His intervention stunned her briefly and interrupted her furious struggle. Both surfaced gasping for air after escaping the restraint. Anastasia checked Xiuden's condition while Naga watched him in silence. Xiuden stopped Naga's reckless charge and questioned her objective. He urged her to focus on defeating the monster effectively instead. Naga listened as Xiuden explained victory required understanding the enemy. His advice reminded her that strength alone was insufficient. He accepted the lesson and requested guidance immediately. He stressed their disadvantage at sea while the raft raced onward. Another attack struck the raft and disrupted their movement. Xiuden struggled to maintain control as Anastasia watched anxiously nearby. Recognizing the danger, Naga decided to act personally. She announced she would fly above and pull the raft forward. Naga declared she had gathered enough mana for transformation. Anastasia doubted her reserves, but Naga remained completely confident nevertheless. A bright light suddenly enveloped Naga before everyone aboard. Xiuden and Anastasia watched closely as the transformation process began. Strange markings across Naga's back reacted first during the change. Small wings emerged unexpectedly, drawing immediate attention from observers. Naga attempted flight, but discovered the wings were undersized. Anastasia questioned the result while Naga stared in disbelief, silently. The Dragon King intervened and pressed against Naga's chest. Large wings unfolded instantly, lifting Naga into the air. Ishwa questioned Naga's enormous mana reserves, while Naga dismissed the concern casually. She accepted the unexpected wings and prepared herself for battle ahead. Naga launched forward above the waves, determined to exploit her newly gained power. Xiuden, Anastasia, and Ishwa watched from the raft. Naga flew ahead, dragging the raft across rough waters while Xiuden, Anastasia, and Ishwa spotted land. Breathing heavily, Xiuden watched the lurking squid, shadowing them without striking, realizing constant pressure threatened their chances of escape. Anastasia noticed Naga's speed dropping and called attention to it, while Xiuden learned her mana reserves were draining far too quickly to continue. Naga admitted maintaining her transformed state had become impossible, yet she kept pulling forward, determined to reach shore before exhaustion forced a change. As Naga strained, the raft advanced, sparing everyone from crushing danger, but Xiuden realized losing her mobility could leave their group. Anastasia gathered her thoughts and revealed a risky plan, reminding Xiuden about the spell she once used against Quakehog successfully. She explained how concentrated magical elements could be compressed into a single point, transforming dispersed power into an effective attack. Anastasia proposed directing coastal thundercloud lightning toward the pursuing squid, while Xiuden cautiously considered whether controlling its path was possible. Breaking down the process, she explained lightning already possessed destructive force, requiring only brief wind guidance instead of complex conversion. Anastasia admitted her knowledge came from studying smartphone charging methods, leaving Shuden surprised that her explanation continued developing seriously. Anastasia explained the plan required approaching thunderclouds above the rocky reef, forcing the group toward dangerous waters despite serious risks. Concern spread across the raft as she sought Shuden's judgment, while Naga struggled onward and awaited a decision. Shuden immediately ordered a sharp course change toward the rocks, surprising Naga, who questioned steering directly into danger. Hearing the objective, Naga accepted the maneuver, realizing the reef offered their best chance to eliminate the pursuing squid. The group advanced toward the reef, despite collision risks, knowing failure would leave them exposed, immobile, and unable to fight. Shuden reassured everyone the gamble would succeed, explaining his confidence came from trusting Anastasia's judgment, despite the dangerous circumstances. Anastasia hesitated, but Shuden reminded her that previous crises were overcome through her ideas, even when outcomes failed, initially. Acknowledging uncertainty, he accepted that unexpected complications always appear, yet fear alone could not justify abandoning their chosen course. Ishua listened as Shuden expressed faith in his companions, believing their combined strengths could overcome the threat confronting them. Shuden pledged full support for the plan, willing to risk himself because cooperation remained their strongest weapon against danger. Anastasia quietly vowed to keep Shuden alive, while Shuden lightened the mood by declaring the raft a trusted companion. Thunderclouds gathered above the coast as the raft pressed onward, carrying the group toward the hazardous reef and plan. Anastasia directed Naga toward the thunderclouds, but the dragoness reacted suddenly as something unexpected interfered with movement. The raft scraped against the reef and jolted violently, leaving Shuden and Ashwa alarmed as they searched for the cause. A powerful current erupted beneath them, lifting Shuden and Anastasia upward, while the pursuing squid emerged from the sea. The squid's attack launched Anastasia into the air, prompting Shuden and Ashwa to react instantly as danger closed around them. Seeing Anastasia threatened, Ashwa moved without hesitation, drawing his magic sword and preparing a counterattack against the advancing enemy. Ishwa slashed through surrounding tentacles, clearing space around the group, while Shuden struggled against restraints, and Naga remained engaged. Shuden caught Anastasia safely despite the chaos, checking her condition while protecting her from further harm during turmoil. Ishwa explained the squid's body resisted ordinary attacks, leading Shuden to conclude Anastasia's planned magic remained their best option. Ishwa accepted responsibility for defending against tentacles, while Shuden focused on supporting Anastasia as the battered raft continued forward. Entering the rocky reef worsened conditions dramatically, causing violent shaking that threatened balance and made Anastasia's concentration increasingly difficult. Shuden encouraged Anastasia to ignore distractions and continue casting, steadying her position while relentless impacts rocked the raft. A sudden jolt caught Anastasia completely off guard, interrupting her composure as the unstable ride created another unexpected problem. Repeated crashes across the reef forced Anastasia to struggle with her clothing and balance simultaneously, complicating preparation for the spell. Another violent crash threw Anastasia backward onto Shuden, while Ashwa watched helplessly as the unstable raft lurched across rocks. The impact left Anastasia sprawled over Shuden, delaying her concentration, while the surrounding waters churned with growing danger. A gigantic squid suddenly burst from the sea before them, forcing Shuden to confront the monster at close range. Shuden reacted with shock, but Naga welcomed the appearance, determined to settle matters directly with the persistent creature. Refusing to retreat, Naga prepared a final assault, gathering her remaining mana and charging straight toward the enormous squid. Naga unleashed her remaining strength, driving a devastating kick into the squid's massive face and staggering the creature momentarily. Seizing the opening, Anastasia completed her spell, calling thunder from above and directing divine judgment toward the battlefield. A colossal lightning strike crashed into the squid, engulfing its body in blinding energy, as Anastasia unleashed Heavenly Bolt. Naga boasted loudly, convinced the defeated monster would threaten nobody again any longer. A violent surge erupted from the creature, striking the party without warning as Shuden, Anastasia and Ishua reeled backward in shock. The blast opened a massive cavity, dragging broken structures and companions inward, while panic spread across the battlefield as everyone struggled against danger. Thrown into churning water, Shuden surfaced and reassured the others, urging them to cling tightly to floating debris, while waves scattered wreckage around. Amid rough seas, Shuden searched desperately for Naga, spotting only a reaching hand before she disappeared beneath the water. Shuden spotted Naga struggling in the water and rushed toward her immediately, catching hold before she sank completely beneath rough waves. Naga regained awareness and muttered weakly, leaving Shuden startled by her condition as he pulled her closer through water. Seeing her exhaustion, Shuden accepted a cloth bundle from Naga and listened carefully while she explained its practical purpose. Shuden secured the bundle around himself and pushed forward, carrying Naga through strong currents until danger appeared directly ahead. A floating structure bearing Dynea model drifted into view, causing Shuden to pause while Naga noticed something unusual behind him. Shuden recognized the Dynea model flag and broke into tears, realizing the vessel had carried them through disaster and relentless seas. The exhausted survivors collapsed across the shoreline together, grateful to reach solid ground while waves retreated behind their scattered bodies. Shuden slowly sat upright, confirming everyone had survived the ordeal, then released a weary breath as tension finally eased. Facing the stranded Dynea model, Shuden silently reflected on its sacrifice, understanding how the damaged vessel preserved their lives. Still shaken, he expressed gratitude toward Dynea, then quickly checked his companions, wanting reassurance that nobody suffered serious injuries. The strange fluid left Naga completely immobilized and weakened Anastasia as well, while Shuden realized the creature carried lingering effects. Shuden noted Ishua remained mostly unaffected because little fluid reached him, making him the only companion capable of moving freely. Without warning, Ishua stepped forward and pointed his sword directly at Shuden, creating immediate tension across the exhausted group. Recognizing the figure, Shuden stared in confusion and called Ishua's name, uncertain why his companion suddenly adopted such behavior. The disguised figure revealed herself as Miley instead, shocking Shuden completely, while Anastasia praised the deception and recognized her voice. Shuden watched in confusion as Ishua and Melia appeared to alternate control, while Melia apologized and explained their desperate situation. Melia revealed she and Ishua had shared the same body from the beginning, conserving mana while secretly waiting for opportunity. Ignoring Anastasia's helpless state, Melia calmly chose her as the first target, intending to finish matters before resistance emerged. Shuden forced himself forward and pleaded with Melia to spare Anastasia, refusing to remain still despite his weakened condition. Melia noticed Shuden resisted paralysis better than expected, then concluded he avoided much exposure to the creature's strange fluid. Anastasia desperately warned Shuden to escape as Melia instructed Ishua prepared to strike, believing eliminating him first would prevent interference completely. Ishua raised his weapon above Shuden, while Anastasia watched helplessly, fearing the attack would land before anyone could react. The killing blow never came. Melia suddenly hesitated, struggling internally as Ishua resisted and refused harming their teacher. Ishua's influence strengthened, urging Melia to reconsider. He explained cooperation had proven valuable and changed his understanding greatly. Using the brief opening, Shuden proposed setting violence aside temporarily, hoping both sides could work together and escape safely. Shuden's proposal stunned Melia. Ishua appeared supportive, but she dismissed cooperation immediately and questioned whether such trust made sense. Melia angrily argued their survival depended on defeating enemies, insisting demons remained hunted everywhere and could never secure safety otherwise. Ishua challenged Melia's reasoning, reminding her of shared experiences with humans and questioning why she rejected understanding. Continuing her argument, they explained humans lived far shorter lives while demi-humans endured centuries, while Anastasia remained listening. The twins concluded coexistence remained impossible despite good intentions, urging everyone to recognize reality. The truth made Anastasia stunned. Ishua desperately tried stopping Melia, but she rejected his interference completely and declared she would personally finish the attack. The struggle for control intensified inside their shared body as Ishua pleaded repeatedly while Melia fought fiercely to dominate. Their conflict abruptly halted. A weapon slipped from grasp, leaving Shuden and Anastasia staring silently at the unexpected development. Ishua finally gained control, yet confusion replaced confidence as he examined himself and sensed something fundamentally different had occurred. Realization struck instantly. Staring downward in disbelief, Ishua discovered the shared body had somehow divided into two separate individuals. Anastasia watched the bewildered demon girl discover strange physical changes while Shiu remained equally confused, realizing the failed transformation had produced an impossible situation. Instead of restoring normal appearances completely. Losing control of her unstable magic, the demon girl stumbled forward before crashing onto Shiu, leaving both overwhelmed as the bizarre accident quickly worsened beyond anyone's immediate understanding or preparation. Entangled together by living vines, Anastasia urgently urged Shiu to cut the restraints with Ragnarok before everyone became completely trapped, forcing the group into desperate cooperation despite growing confusion everywhere. Unexpectedly, the demon girl collapsed beside Ragnarok after the vines tightened around her body, leaving Anastasia alarmed as weakness spread with impossible speed, preventing any immediate rescue attempt whatsoever nearby. After Shisu severed the vines, Anastasia realized Naga had become completely exhausted from the mysterious parasite, confirming survival demanded solving the island's hidden dangers before confronting any greater enemy ahead. Shiyu realized the parasitic vine had absorbed part of his physical strength and magical power, confirming similar creatures likely existed across the island while everyone remained surrounded by retreating underground tendrils nearby. As the remaining vines burrowed beneath the ground, Anastasia urged Shiyu to escape immediately, because Mayuria and Naga could no longer move, leaving the exhausted group vulnerable to another unexpected attack. Barely able to lift Ragnarok, Naga struggled against overwhelming exhaustion, while worrying she could no longer protect Mayuria. Her fading consciousness revealing the parasite had drained nearly all remaining strength completely. Moments later, Naga unexpectedly regained enough strength to stand, astonishing Shiyu after the parasite disappeared, suggesting its influence weakened once the dangerous vines had finally withdrawn from the surrounding area. Relieved by her recovery, Shiyu urged everyone to leave without delay, while Naga confirmed she could move again, allowing the battered survivors to continue searching for safety across the mysterious island. Despite Anastasia's outrage over trusting recent enemies, Shiyu insisted escaping remained the highest priority, refusing to abandon anyone while the mysterious vines still threatened every survivor across the dangerous battlefield. Carrying the weakened Naga, Shiyu led the retreat while the others fled together, leaving Ragnarok behind, as Ishua struggled unsuccessfully to lift the massive sword before reluctantly following the group. Once they reached safety, Naga and Ishua faced questioning about their true intentions, realizing continued deception had become meaningless after their carefully prepared strategy completely unraveled before everyone present. Shiyu calmly admitted the original plan involved pretending to lack mana while secretly waiting for the perfect opportunity to eliminate every member of the opposing side without raising suspicion. Naga revealed their deception extended further, explaining they secretly communicated through dreams while pretending isolation, allowing both sisters to exchange information and coordinate every stage of their hidden operation together. Naga confessed their original strategy was eliminating every opponent after separating their fusion, admitting they deliberately preserved enough mana for the attack before apologizing for deceiving Shiyu and the others throughout everything. Setting aside her pride, Naga sincerely apologized and requested permission to cooperate until everyone escaped the island safely. Though Anastasia remained openly skeptical after hearing the confession and witnessing earlier betrayal, Anastasia firmly rejected the proposal, reminding Naga that both sisters had secretly plotted murder, making it impossible for anyone to trust them despite their apparent regret and changed attitude. Naga admitted she and Miria had lost nearly all remaining strength after exhausting their mana, leaving them incapable of fighting while nervously awaiting Shiyu's judgment regarding their uncertain fate ahead. Although Anastasia strongly opposed accepting former enemies, Naga awkwardly suggested cooperation offered the greatest chance of survival, leaving the exhausted group divided over whether trust could truly be restored. Anastasia insisted trusting former enemies remained impossible because lowering their guard could invite another deadly betrayal, while Naga quietly admitted such doubts were completely justified under the dangerous circumstances facing everyone. Naga explained her unstable body and confused mind resulted from the earlier failed transformation, while Ushua confirmed their original murderous intentions no longer reflected the desperate reality they currently faced together, although unable to predict whether another transformation might occur because their magic remained unstable. Naga honestly admitted she had never experienced such conditions and possessed no reliable solution whatsoever. Gathering her resolve despite overwhelming uncertainty, Naga sincerely declared her wish to escape the island alongside everyone else, hoping genuine determination could gradually replace the distrust surrounding her former actions. Recognizing their increasingly desperate situation, Shiyu acknowledged Anastasia's concerns, but decided allowing Naga and Ishua to accompany the group offered the greatest chance of surviving the island's relentless dangers together. Shiyu realized the island's dangers had become far greater after the monster's corrosive fluid reduced everyone's mobility, while valuable supplies and essential equipment remained stranded beyond their immediate reach completely. Although Anastasia still distrusted their former enemies, she admitted the desperate circumstances and unidentified monsters roaming nearby made every additional capable ally valuable for improving the group's chances of survival together. Shiyu clarified he did not completely trust both sisters, explaining his confidence rested only in Ishua, while Anastasia reluctantly accepted cooperating temporarily, after recognizing responsibility for leading everyone onto the island. Naga warned the monster's body fluid would continue damaging anyone it covered, unless removed immediately, revealing the paralyzing substance could eventually seep inside the body. and cause even greater harm. Hearing the explanation, Shiyu finally understood the terrifying threat posed by the strange creature. Realizing surviving the island required avoiding every encounter with its dangerous corrosive body fluid from then onward. While Shiyu guarded the surroundings, Anastasia and Naga entered the water to wash away the monster's dangerous fluid, discovering the sticky substance stubbornly clung to their bodies, despite repeated attempts at cleaning. Embarrassed by the unfamiliar female body she now possessed, Naga nervously examined herself, struggling to understand the lingering transformation, while Anastasia reacted with disbelief at her strange behavior during the cleanup. As they continued washing, Naga apologized to Myria for the failed plan, while both sisters gradually realized their shared body control had become completely separated after the mysterious transformation unexpectedly occurred. Although Myria admitted feeling angry about everything, she also acknowledged surviving together would have been impossible alone, accepting that cooperation had protected them, despite the painful circumstances surrounding their mission. Myria ultimately rejected Naga's reckless thinking, insisting survival came before revenge, because blindly pursuing their original objective would only guarantee both sisters faced certain destruction on the unforgiving island together. Naga quietly abandoned thoughts of immediate revenge, accepting that remaining unnoticed beside Shiyu's group offered the best opportunity until she regained enough strength to challenge anyone opposing her future plans. Watching Shiyu from a distance, Naga realized her weakened body prevented any chance of defeating the survivors alone, forcing her to temporarily accept cooperation instead of pursuing another reckless confrontation. After Anastasia finished cleaning away the monster's sticky fluid, Shiyu confirmed the dangerous substance proved difficult to remove, explaining repeated washing eventually succeeded despite leaving his hands temporarily numb afterward. Attention quickly shifted toward Naga, whose entire body remained coated in the paralyzing mucus, making independent cleaning impossible because prolonged exposure threatened to spread the harmful effects even further across her body. Recognizing the urgent situation, Anastasia proposed sharing the difficult task of removing the dangerous mucus together, leaving Shiyu completely stunned by the unexpected suggestion, despite understanding the serious circumstances.